fancy. That was a very, very fancy intro.
Oh man, I love that porn. I love that porn music. It's great. It's wonderful.
The techno porn beats. It's very, very, very nice.
Oh. All right, I gotta. Before we start, I'm gonna mute this. But all right. Good morning, everybody. This is Brunch with Egnards. I'm here with a special guest, OMG, who's a good real life buddy of mine, who does his own version of streaming, Cardbreaks, which I've never seen, I've never done before. We're going to do those a little bit later today, and you're going to, I guess, teach me a little bit about that.
It's a fun experience. I'm actually not familiar with the Galaxy of Heroes game, so I feel like we're stepping into each other's world just a little bit today.
Well, you know, being that we're both in our mid-30s and we're both old, and we never get to hang out.
Late 30s, not mid, late.
Okay,
late.
Being that we're now in our late 30s, this is the one way that we get to hang out is do nerdy crap together. And so we're going to try this out and see, you know, what Brunch with Egnards looks like when I have a guest star trying to steal my thunder. What we are going to do today, because in the game, there's literally nothing going on. There's no territory battles. My territory wars stuff is completely done right now. I don't have to do it. It's just some roster reviews, right? So basically what happens is that people reach out to me on Discord and they're like, hey, I've been playing this game for like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and I need help. And I don't want to say the authority. There's a lot of authorities, a lot of people that do this, but you're an efficient player. So can you kind of give me the lowdown on where I should go with my account? And I might end up doing that for you too, because I guess you started trying to play last night.
I did. I downloaded it because I wanted to have a little bit of context, and you know, it was a lot of fun at the beginning. And to be fair, I'm actually a big Star Wars fan, so I'm surprised that I didn't know about the game, or maybe I did peripherally and I just didn't ever dive in. So I played it a bit last night, and you know, I definitely see the appeal. So it's a good time.
You're being really friendly because as you get later into the game, it's super just a money and time crunch. I
didn't want to talk about how every character I got was 1 star, and then there were like
7
empty slots next to it, and that kind of made me nervous.
It gets pretty ugly pretty fast. So the first one I have up today is Ziggy77, and on my own screen, I'm gonna Ziggy77. On my own screen, I'm gonna pull up the messages that he sent to me on Discord. I like to read them in my nice ASMR voice and kind of give people context on what's going on and where we're going with that. Good morning, Warlock. Thank you for joining us. So let's see. Thinking about it, I'm not really competitive. So we have somebody who's a casual player. I'm pretty aware of my roster flaws, so he knows that he's screwed up. I don't need the review, but it'd be fun to hear what you say. And a lot of people that say they don't need the review, they very much do need the review. But we'll see in a minute. If you have some free time, that'd be nice. He bought me a beer ahead of time, which is really great. It puts a lot of pressure on me to perform when they do that, but no complaints.
It's a courtesy.
It's nice. It is, you know, and it's nice that we have websites where I can literally say, no, you're buying me beer, not food, not my mortgage payment, but just beer. That's what this is going to get used on.
A beer.
A beer, singular beer, because, you know, the prices the way they are right now.
Also late 30s, so it's
late 30s, 1-2 beers, and we're completely done. So a bit about my account, as I've seen people do that. My plan is to go for Executor after I'm done with SLKR, so Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, as I have neglected ships for far too long. Just don't find them fun. Nobody finds ships fun. Everybody hates ships. That's just the nature of ships. Then I want to farm Jedi Cal once his requirements are accelerated, which is coming up soon. Eventually move to Jedi Master Luke. On the side, I'm refreshing Dad Bod Boba. Man, I'm trying to use like the actual names of things so that you know what's going on.
And it's Dad Bod Boba. I get it.
It's testing my brain to remember the names of things. Every Proving Grounds. I know he's trash, so I want to get him. Other than that, I need work on relics. Okay. I asked him about his assault battles, which is just a monthly reoccurring event that is important for the ROI on an account. So Ground War Jedi CT1, Places of Power CT1. Okay, so both important. Secrets and Shadows, Mythic, which is bull, it's shit. the Inquisitors 1, nobody remembers the name of. CT1, okay, that's good. Forest Moon, CT1. Rebel Roundup, CT2, Military Might, CT2. So basically what that means is all of these events go from, I don't even remember what the first tier is, but the important tiers, they start with CT1 and they go up to CT3. And it's like free monthly, resources once you've invested in those teams. And it's really, a lot of people kind of forget to do them, but it's really important to build like a good, efficient ROI on your account if, you're not there. CT1 being the most important. And it looks like this person, for the most part, is able to do those, except for Secrets and Shadows, which is, again, it's just a shit tier event. So we're going to kind of take a look at this, and we're going to challenge myself a little bit more because I am going to have to kind of explain what's going on here with all these graphs and everything. So we have a 5 million galactic power account. So that basically means, if they're a highly efficient player, and we know that they're not, it's probably someone who's played for about 1.5 to 2 years. They've probably played longer than that since they're more of a casual player. For context, my account is 11.3 million. So it's,
wow.
a big jump. All right, we're going to check out his arena page. Squad Arena is shit. Who cares about Squad Arena? He's got Ray. He probably bought the Lightspeed bundles, which were like a dirt cheap bundle that the company tried to pass off on people, a few months ago. And everybody's been buying them.
What's going on, Scoundrel? It is way too early.
It's
way too early.
It's awful.
Sorry, that's why I got the giant jug of coffee.
And then your boy, in Fleet, he's using your boy Thrawn. But
already I like this roster.
Yeah, well, it's probably not very good if you know what's going on.
It's all right. I like the qualitative aspects of it.
All right, let's see what we got going on here.
And now, first kind of tidbit of the stream, as I'm a very big Thrawn fan. So
very, very, very big Thrawn fan. We are going to actually just pull something up really quick. Ooh, look at that. There's my little sound bit for you. I just want to pull something really quick. So give me 10 seconds here. Because what I'm noticing, and I know we're using your stream account for this, and we're using some software that I'm not used to using, but I think through the chat client, I'm not seeing my Twitch comments. So if anybody's messaging me on Twitch, I know that you have something up. I'm not personally seeing them. I am seeing my YouTube ones, but we're going to get that figured out.
Twitch ones. So Gozilla, just understandable. So that was one of your Twitch ones.
Perfect, because otherwise I'm kind of running blind there. But
yeah,
anyway.
I'll post them up. And Con Warlock says 2:30 in the afternoon. Perfect. Yeah, it's
8:30 in the morning here, but
8:30 in the morning.
Happy to be there. All right, so we have he's only got Ray and Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. He just finished. This guy, he messaged me about a week ago, so he's got some roster depth that he's built. Star Killer is at 7, Relic 7, so he probably bought that bundle too. It was like $50, which isn't that bad. Let's see what we got. He's going towards Jedi Knight Luke, 1460, Sith Eternal Emperor, 1780, Kenobi, Vader, Grand Inquisitor.
That's so interesting with that website. Yeah, I'm actually finding the site very interesting myself. It's a lot of information.
I found that a lot of people that do roster reviews, they use the in-game HUD, and this is just so much better. I don't know why they use the in-game. It doesn't give you the depth of information that the website .gg gives. Huge shout out to them because they're amazing for what I do and really just for the community as well, and a lot of things that the company, Capital Gains, should be doing for us, but they don't, because they hate us at their very core. Afra, Cal Kestis, Leviathan, and Bo-Katan. All right, so let's just take a look at what we got here. Some important characters. He's got his Hermit Yoda. He's got his Wampa. He does have Rebel Officer. We're going to check out some others. Skiff Lando's at 4 stars. I hate that I know all of this information. Bosch Leia is at 7 stars.
These are your kind of must-haves, right? These are people that you really need to have.
These are characters that are like you need them to set up other things later on in your account. So I like to kind of get an idea of where people are at to see how long it'll take them to build the more important character. So Hermit Yoda, Wampa, and Rebel Officer Leia, you need for Jedi Master Luke, right? Well, technically you need them for Jedi Knight Luke, but to get Jedi Master Luke. Skiff, Bosch, and Kursatan you need for Jabba, who's just a really highly important character.
Yeah. Scoundrel says roster depth is so important.
Roster, is that my boy Bones? Bones, brother. Good morning. I love you, man. I know we were chatting last night about Jar Jar and our collaborations.
Oh, we got one from Godzilla.
To the website.
We're not close.
Are you like my what is it, Galaxy Quest? You can be what's that actress's name who basically just reads what the computer says?
Oh, yeah, I can do this. Is that Sigourney Weaver?
It's Sigourney Weaver.
Of course it is.
Oh my God! Are you saying that you're the attractive one out of the two of us?
Yeah, I'll throw on a blonde wig if you want.
I have my blonde Ken wig over here. So my boy Ziggy, he's kind of on the right track. He wants to go for Executor. We just had a big road ahead, which is like a big roadmap of the next 6 months and kind of what to do. And morning, Logan. See, I didn't know, man, because it's always Bones who's on that account. He's on the right track, but with this road ahead, it kind of gave us an idea of what's coming up in the next 6 months, which is a lot of raid content, Gungan cap content, which you and I were kind of talking about last night a little bit, but nothing about new ships, which normally we expect around July, August, and I was kind of nervous about not hearing anything from that regard, but it makes it a little easier to talk about this roster. They're very close to Executor, and Executor is super important in order to get fleet crystals, right? So that's going to be your number one priority on this account. If he's not already reaching out to his fleet Discord to kind of communicate with those people, he should definitely be reaching out to his fleet Discord to try to communicate and play nice with each other, which just kind of helps everybody to get it helps everybody to get the maximum amount of crystals possible. Logan, I know that you're a big mod guy, and I'm not really a big ship guy, but I'm hating this Leviathan meta. So I've been counting down the days to get rid of it and be done with it. And I'm disappointed we didn't hear anything, because it's one of my least favorite things to interact with in this game. And I was kind of hoping that we would see something, but maybe we'll see something in like 2-3 months. Who knows? So Executor is definitely first. I would go 100% Jedi Knight Luke into Jedi Master Luke afterwards, just because it's going to give him a CT3 on Military Might, which is one of the assault battles. It's going to give him a CT3 on Ground War, which is another one of the assault battles. And it's a 5 million account, which is an account that's doing Conquest, which is like this big game mode. And Jedi Master Luke just happens to be the absolute hands down best character to push yourself through it. Something else I found out really recently, and I don't take credit for this. I don't remember who mentioned it to me, but Jedi Master Luke can do pretty much all of the Proving Ground events. He might need different teams for each ones. I don't know too much about the specifics there, but for somebody who's looking to play catch up on a lot of those characters, getting those Proving Grounds characters and Conquest characters is going to be really important. Now, the one thing that they didn't tell me in what they were looking for from a review, so I don't know where they want to go after Jedi Master Luke, but I would 100% recommend going for Jabba the Hutt, right? And that's kind of why I looked at Skiff, Kursatan, and Bosch before, just to kind of see where his account was for those guys, right? So Bosch, he's got it 7 stars. Kursatan's at 5, but it doesn't matter because it's a Cantina farm, so it's super easy to do. And Skiff isn't so bad since he's accelerated now, and you'll be able to get that in 2 to 3 months. But with Jabba, we're talking probably 5 to 6 months down the line for this guy. I would go for Jabba just because it's going to give you CT3 on Rebel Roundup, but it's also hands down, and I know Logan will agree with me, the best modding event for being able to get free modding materials constantly. The event comes around like twice a month. So being able to do that is going to help this person out in just in numerous and exceptional way. Godzilla, yeah, man, like when it comes to the fleets and the fleet discords, everybody is like fighting with each other. But if you are in a good fleet discord and you're, you know, with people that kind of know what's going on, it helps you and them innumerably in terms of getting free premium currency, right? The crystals. I get like 1,000 a day, and I know I'm going to need like 132,000 to get Jar Jar Binks, unless I can convince Logan to fund my account, since he's not going to spend any money on his account anymore after the release of Jar Jar. So I think definitely Executor, Jedi Master Luke, and Jabba is the way to go for this. You know, there's nothing else. There's nothing else that needs to happen. There's nothing else that we have to worry about right now. That's the plan that I think is best. Godzilla, you know, before I move on to the next review, you know, I agree with you, and I find that we have two types of shards. You have your shard mafias and you have like your shard chats. I would say I've done probably 200 to 300 of these reviews. 95% of them are shard chats, and 95% of them are very, very communicative with people. So it's something that everyone should do. I do have a 4-minute tutorial on how to reach out to those people on my YouTube for this guy. If he doesn't know how to do it yet, it's super easy. Solo, good morning, brother. OMG, this is Solo is a guy that I've been talking to for a while. He's another content creator. And the reason I'm bringing this up to you is we were joking recently that we're kind of like multiverse twins. You know, he's a big Mega Man guy. He loves his Blue Bomber. Solo, you know, OMG loves his Blue Bomber. That's our thing.
I do. I do. Can't
so
see
it's
it.
Kind of,
I got my little Blue Bomber statues up here. And
I'm drinking out of my coffee cup this morning.
Very nice. So it's funny. I was just following along with the chat. How is the community around the game with like Discord and Reddit? I mean, I feel like that's something with a lot of, you know, mobile games that it's kind of hit or miss.
I think it depends on the day. You know, Discord is super awesome. There's a lot of really friendly people on Discord. I've been finding with smaller content creators, everybody's super friendly, always willing to do like collaborations. I've collaborated with, you know, some of the bigger streamers, and I'm a nobody.
You're somebody to me.
Three Scoundrels, who was talking in chat before. I've been on his podcast 3 times, you know, because he just can't get rid of me. And every week he swears it's the last one, and then boom, he hits me up like a late night you up text, and he's like, "Hey, can you hop on with us tonight?" So I've been doing a lot of collaboration. Now Reddit it's a toxic cesspool. You know, I'm on there. I enjoy it, but there are a lot of like really mean-spirited people. And I think that comes with like internet and anonymity and just the nature of the beast, which, you know, sucks a little bit, but there's good people there too. It's just about finding them is basically what it is. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to X out this one. I'm going to pull up the next one. Like I said before, I like to timestamp these things. It makes my life a lot easier. So we're going to go at 20 minutes. We'll pull up JDove. Get my cursor.
Oh, while you're doing that, Godzilla said the game's Discord sweet. I have such good relations with the Wooks. You know, for me, it's just I've been in different Discords, and some of them I think were maybe turned me off to the long-term investment into a game. Where if you do have, you know, smaller content creators that are also in the Discord, you can ask these questions and you can, you know, go through these kinds of profile builds. It does seem like it has a little bit more lasting appeal, you know, versus something like the, you know, Diablo mobile community, which I heard is like super toxic. So I actually stopped playing that because of some of my early interactions with that.
With the people. Yeah, I think, you know, you might like this game, and, you know, maybe you'll end up spending way too much money on it like a lot of people do, but
Probably.
there's a lot of good stuff here. I did, by the way, I figured out how to kind of pull up my Twitch chat, so I can see it now, thankfully, for the, you know, people who are on Twitch. So I'm gonna pull up this next roster, and I'm just gonna change my time stop. JDove, he sent me a little bit of an essay, which is nice. It kind of gives me context. Senior videos. Currently able to get the top 10 in fleet with my 4-star profundity and 5-star executor. Most of the top 10 are Leviathans, so it's an older shard. Rest of the top 20 are 7-star profundities and a few executors. Assault battle CT1 6 of 7, CT2 5 of 7, CT3 2 of 7. So without even looking, I'm gonna guess based on that his account is probably around 6 to 7 million. My overall goal is to get best return on investment on my account, farm the most meaningful teams. I just unlocked Kat, Commander Ahsoka Tano, who's amazing. My main priority is getting her to relics. That's a short-term goal. My guild wants to start working on Inquisitors and Third Sister. Not against farming them, as I'm an officer and want to be a good guild mate. I want to work on Jabba since he's going to help the guild in ROT and his Smugglers Run 2 event. I left the game in 2020, returned around the Ben Solo conquest. I have a shitload of G12 tunes. Also, the raid currency has made G12 pretty easy. Thanks for all you do it for the community. All right, so let's see. He's actually a little higher than I expected. All right, so an 8 million account. His ROI is pretty good, but he's looking to shape it up just a little bit more. He's doing all of the CT1s, all of the important ones, because he's 6 of 7, but we're struggling on the CT3s. Let's pull up his arena page, see what we're looking at. Jedi Master Luke, great. That's a perfect one to have. Executor, top 5. It looks fairly consistent going from the beginning of February. But I don't know if he's communicating with his fleet Discord at all. I actually recently put that in my roster review thread, but this is from before that. So definitely, if he's not doing that, he needs to, you know, start reaching out to them. But at the very least, he is getting fleet crystals. Let's see what we got. This is this is Brunch with Egnards, and I know you do coffee and cardboard, which is why I have my coffee. But Brunch with Egnards revolves around alcoholic drinks. So this is my mimosa.
So you're really starting the morning off right.
This is my morning mimosa, Sunday morning mimosa.
I don't judge. It's impressive.
That's how Egnards does his shit. Let's see. Jedi Master Luke, Rey, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. So 3 Galactic Legends. I'm willing to take a bet that they bought the Lightspeed bundles. Logan, what I'm going to say to you, man, is you should do a poll on whether you should fund your own account or whether you should fund my Jar Jar Binks Day 1. I'm pretty sure that your 3 Scoundrels community is going to vote for me because they want to see a Day 1 Relic 9 Jar Jar Binks. I'm just saying. I think that's the way to go with it. Let's see. We bought those. We have Jedi Luke, Sith Eternal Emperor. All right. Well, I shot my shot, man. I tried. All right. Let's see. Jedi Master, Lord Vader, Star Killer. Yeah, he's got Star Killer, Grand Inquisitor, Jabba the Hutt. Does he have Profundity? Shit, let's take a look. Maybe he just got Profundity after I messaged him on this. 4-star Profundity, 5-star Executor. Okay. What I would suggest definitely is invest more in that Profundity than the Executor. We're looking at Executor being 3 years old very soon. I don't know if it's still going to be viable going into the next round of play that we're going to have once the next fleet meta shifts. Profundity is only 2 years old, so it has a much better chance. So I would definitely focus there between the 2 ships. Executor functions rather well at 5 stars. Profundity, you're going to want that 7 stars eventually. You don't have to do that right away, but it's going to be the safer. It's going to be the safer route to go.
Spotted a maxed out Chimera. Makes me happy.
Everybody's got a maxed out Chimera. OMG, everybody. It's nothing special, man.
It's special to me.
It's nothing special. It's
hurtful.
It's okay. It does what it needs to do. Let's check out these Inquisitors. Second, 5 stars. Fifth, 3 stars. I can never remember their numbers. 5 stars. I think there's a 9th, right? 6 stars. And then who do I forget? 4th, 3rd. No, not 3rd. 6th. You know what? It's just be easier to do it this way and not look like a dumbass. 7th, 5th. So which one did I forget? 7th? Maybe 7th. Okay. We're going to check out this guy's guild, see where they're at. 319. We're going to pull up his guild's unit search.
Inquisitors are a must-have, apparently.
They are a must-have from like 2 years ago. And as you hit the late game, you kind of want to have an Inquisitor team for getting Third Sister, which is a little bit harder to get. What I'm going to tell this guy is if you're an officer and your guild wants to push Inquisitors, I think you guys are a little low to really worry about Inquisitors. But if you are pushing it for your guild, you have to prioritize it. It's like a super dick move to tell everybody to work for it and then not work for it yourself. So it's not something that I would particularly prioritize right now, but it is something that I would say if that's what your plan is, then you have to do it. There's no question about it. What do you like to? Godzilla, man, elaborate for me. I get what you're saying a little bit, but if you can explain a little bit further, I'll happily kind of answer from my perspective. And while I do that, we're gonna check out these guys. Skiff, Bosch, and he's already got them. Look at this guy, Kursatan. Nobody cares. Kursatan is Katina. Let's see, Jabba. Okay. All right, so we don't know what the next Galactic Legend is, but we do know that this is like a more casual 8 million account. So going for GL Leia, which is something on the newer end of the spectrum, is not really a necessity, especially as we shift into the next raid in 5 months. It's really worrying about the ROI on the backlog of things that you have. In terms of Inquisitors, yeah, you have to do it just because you're forcing your guild to do it. Jabba is 100% where you want to go with this. It's going to give you Rebel Roundup CT3. And then like you alluded to in your message, it is going to give you Smuggler's Run 2, which comes around about twice a month. I was actually surprised I got the notification that it's coming out on the 20th, which is in 2 days. And we just had it last week. So that's going to really kind of step up your account there. Now, where you go from there, I don't think Gungans, are going to be a priority for your guild, and I think that the raid box that you generally are going to get is not going to overly be impacted by rushing them. So I wouldn't necessarily worry too much about them. After Inquisitors and Jabba, I just kind of want to check something. Gozella, I understand you now. I'm going to finish this up and then I'm going to answer that question for you. Empire. Okay. Let's see, military might. So that's rebels. All right. So we're definitely doing CT3 on military might. We should be doing CT3 with Jedi. Just want to get an idea. Probably doing that CT2 here. Rebel Roundup. Jabba will get you the CT3 though. Imperial Troopers. Piet Veers. Okay. So after you go for Jabba, this might be a semi-controversial opinion, but I do kind of I strongly recommend it. After Jabba, I'd go for C, Sith Eternal Emperor. You already have the backbone here with your Imperial troopers. He is on the easier side to procure. You do have a supporting cast for him right here. I don't know when you're going to end up getting Bane, who's dropping in 2 weeks. But if you're 8 million, you're probably going to see him in the 4 to 6 month range total. So that'll be in 1.5 months to 3 months and a half. And you're going to want Sith Eternal Emperor for that. But what Sith Eternal Emperor is also going to do for you is give you the CT3 on Forest Moon. Just by proxy of getting General Veers and Colonel Stark to R3, you already have a G12 range trooper. You don't have any of these other guys. Snow Trooper at G12 will be your 5th, and you'll get it super easily. You could probably do it right now if you remod, right? Veers, Stark, Piet, range trooper, bring Snow Trooper to G12, which as you alluded to is super easy to do now with the gear changes and requires no Chirotech. If you remod them, I think you could do it right now, but I still do strongly think that you should consider Sith Eternal Emperor at that point, just to kind of build a nice backbone on that Conquest unit. So what we're looking at is prioritizing Profundity over Executor, going for Jabba and Inquisitors, and going for Sith Eternal Emperor after that. I would not go further than that point in terms of planning because you have plenty of time, but that's going to help you set up the ROI on your account. And that's going to kind of help you in all aspects between Conquest, Territory Wars, and Galactic, whatever the hell it's called, because I turtle it. GAC, GAC. I don't know. I don't remember what it stands for. Galactic something fight players, whatever else it is. But when I send this to you, hit me up on Discord, and I can kind of give you some more tailored based on any other questions, if you happen to have other questions. Godzilla, I do think we're probably going to see a lifter for Executor, and what I would say if I were to make one prediction for this year, which by the way, I was the one who predicted Jar Jar. I have been saying 2024 is the year of Jar Jar for a very long time now. Everybody was shitting on me. Nobody believed me. I predicted that shit. Everybody else can go to hell with that. But if I were to make one prediction,
sole ownership of that, huh?
I'm taking sole ownership of that. I put out the petition that got 2,700 signatures. I have written love letters on Reddit to it. The community manager of the game reached out to me personally 1.5 months ago to troll me about it. So I'm taking sole ownership of this one. But if I were to make one more prediction, I would say that after we get the new fleet meta, we always see 2 to 3 months later, a new ship lift an old fleet and allow that old fleet to beat the new fleet. If you do it right, kind of like a soft counter. I think that after we see the new fleet, we're probably going to see a lifter for Executor. And the front runner for that, I think, was Dengar's ship. I think it's called the Punishing One. I don't remember what it's called. But I do think that we are going to see that coming to the game instead of anything else in terms of fleet and ships. And it's going to allow Executor to beat whatever's new, but maybe not super reliably, right? So more that 50 to 70% soft counter chance. I think that that's my front runner for after all of that stuff pops up. So that's all I got for this one. I'm going to do one more now. And then, for those of you that know me on YouTube, we do something called Tales Off of the Holotables, where I chat with content creators and I chat with just regular people who play the game. And we're going to try to do a live version of that today with OMG here, who's, again, a close, real friend of mine. And we're going to have, I guess, a chance to kind of chat, just catch up a little bit on game stuff, explaining the game to you a little bit, some of our other nerd-related, whatever you want to call them. But also any of you that have been following me for a while now and have been watching these Tales episodes, and you might be thinking, hey, man, I wonder this about Egnards, or I wonder if he is really that nice or if he's really a jackass. OMG has been authorized to tell you pretty much everything. And he's somebody who will not pull any punches and will make me look like a jackass.
I hope we get some good questions. No, this is interesting. I kind of like that the rhythm of this was very normal to how you would have your brunch with Egnard session. There's just so much depth with this game, and just how quickly you're seeing prerequisites for certain characters or for certain teams and support groups. I've been following along, and this is a slow burn. I mean, this is a lot of the big time commitment.
So before I get into the next review, I don't know if you saw Warlock. I mean, obviously you don't play Star Wars Galaxy of the Heroes yet, OMG, but I don't know if you want to elaborate on that further.
Yeah, no, this is me really kind of being a guest here and seeing the game, and I love Star Wars. I love the universe, and I think Egnards knows that about me. So I think this is not completely uncomfortable territory for me. But I did download it last night, and I could definitely see how this game could drive 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now. I mean, there seems to be a lot of tactical and operational strategies to it, which unfortunately I do enjoy, and I think maybe that was Egnards being a gentleman and not telling me about the game, because I have a problem of fixating on these kinds of things. So I probably would have gone down a rabbit hole, and I still might. So it is very interesting to me.
We'll get you to whale on it. You could start a whale account, and you can live stream it from the first day to the last day.
Just dumping money into it, trying to cut money the corners on the hard work.
start a liquid, holy shit, a limited liability company, and you could just business expense.
Godzilla, I love that. Whale till you fail.
That's the way to do it.
Maybe that's the right way to do this. I'm intrigued now.
Logan knows that.
Would that make me extra annoying?
If you were a whale.
If I was a whale till I fail, if I just dumped a ton of money up front.
No, I don't. I mean, the reality is, like, people give whales a lot of shit in this game, but the reality is that whaling is what keeps this game alive, right? So the people that spend a ton of money, like, great. That's what I'm not free to play. I don't spend a ton of money, but that's what allows me to play this game without having to spend a ton of money. It's what makes it easier for me to do, and it makes it easier for me to play. Without those whales, there is no game. So if you whale on this game, do it, man. Like, go for it. More power to you. Mortgage your house, put in a reverse mortgage.
Wow, so we're talking that deep. Oh boy.
Yeah, man. Mortgage the house. Go for it. All right. I'm going to do one more because I still have some brain power right now. Let's pull this guy up. Stama was on Brunch with Egnards last week. Asked me about his roster. He finally got back to me. So we're going to kind of help him out. Let me just timestamp this bitch. 1510. Oh man, Godzilla, dude, like I could talk about the ROI and like the cost and everything and the basis and the breakdowns. I could do that all day long. I've got spreadsheets all over the place. I was talking to Calvin Awesome yesterday, and I've been putting together this Jar Jar spreadsheet, and we were kind of like working on it and figuring out what it'll take us, because we're both big Jar Jar guys, what it'll take us crystal wise to be able to get there day one. So a lot of math goes behind the things that I do in this game. All right, let's see what we got here. Let me pull him up on Discord. If I remember correctly, he was telling me he's a college student, so younger guy. Fleet is mostly 7-star Leviathan, so we have a longer-term player. Just got into Shard Chat. All right, so that's nice. Alternating 1 until I change my payout time, so that's good to know. He's getting his Fleet crystals. CT1, 6 of 7. CT2, 6 of 7. CT3, 4 of 7. That's interesting. Secrets and Shadows, Rebel Roundup, and the Inquisitor one. So those are the ones he needs, I think. I am a daily player, occasionally taking off TW because TW sucks. Try not to make it a time sink, but it is Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. I am finishing up Leia's Ultimate, ready to do the Afra event. 10 of 100 on Profundity, Executor, and Leviathan. So we got all of them. Trying to save crystals to finish Leviathan this next time. 260 of 330 on Malicos, 260 of 5 on Dark Trooper Moff Gideon, who I call Armored Gus Fring personally. 290 on Trench. I'm farming Proving Grounds for Trench. 150 on Bane. So he's not getting Bane this next month, but he is going to be relatively close to that 4 to 6 month timeline. Don't know where to focus next. Next GL or any Omicron ideas would be helpful. Avoided Kylo at Rey due to Lightspeed bundles. Mods aren't great, but not horrible. Thanks again for your time. All right, so let's see this guy. Kyber 3, 9 million account. We know he's alternating payouts, so he's in contact with people. He's got his Leviathan. And it looks like he's climbing with Chimera, which you can do with the newer fleet compositions. But he doesn't look as consistent as he implies that he is, though it's new. So with Leviathan, a lot of its power and its strength is locked behind 7 stars. So you definitely want to bring it to 7 stars relatively soon. But if you're, Stama, yeah, good morning. So look at that. We're doing yours right now. Perfect. So the thing here is when it comes to getting your fleets from like 6 to 7 stars, I'm a proponent of doing it as slow as is possible. And looking at your fleet arena rank and the kind of up and down, it looks like you might need to get it to 7 stars on the nearer term. But again, since you just got into your fleet shard, if you're able to consistently hit that one payout without bringing it to 7 stars, it might be worth it to hold off and maybe do 1 refresh a month. And that way you'll get it in the 4-month timeline, 4 or 5 months, instead of burning 9,000 crystals on it, right? If you're finding that your Thrawn climb is unreliable, then 100% it's worth it to bring Leviathan to 7 stars on the nearer term. So that's something to kind of consider. If you're reliably doing it with the Thrawn counter, I wouldn't waste my time, especially with so much content, coming up. All right, let's see what we got here. Collection. We've got Jedi Master Luke good. We got Jabba good. So those are 2 great ROI characters. And Stama, while I'm looking at this, can you just confirm for me? You said CT3, 4 of 7, you think. Are you saying that Secrets and Shadows, Rebel Roundup, and the Inquisitor ones are the ones you are doing at 3, CT3, or the ones that you're not doing at CT3? And while I wait for the time delay, I'm just going to kind of go ahead with your account a little bit further. All right, you have a Sith Eternal Emperor for when you get Bane in like the 4 to 6 month timeline. Let's just check on this. We got Wampa. We are, it looks like you finished Leia in the time since we last talked. Okay. Did not buy those. Jedi Master Kenobi, Lord Vader, Star Killer, Grand Inquisitor. We have all of these. Leviathan, Afra, Kestis, Bo-Katan. Okay, so you got all of those good. You have a pretty what's the word? A pretty efficient roster, which is nice. 4, 5. We have 5 GLs, which means we're missing SLKR Rey. I don't think they're priorities. If you didn't buy the Lightspeed bundles, I wouldn't. It's not that I wouldn't bother with them. They're definitely worth doing, but I just think that they're not necessarily priorities for you right now. And Lord Vader, who I happen to like, but a lot of people don't. You might want to consider going for Jedi Knight Cal Kestis. you're in a 500 million guild, and I'm assuming they want Zepho. You know, for people in these higher guilds, being able to do Zepho is a pretty big deal because it's basically a free star, which is free crystals basically every time you do TB, and free. Well, you have baby Cal. You don't have this Cal. Oh, maybe you do actually. Let me just double check. I don't know why it said that you don't have them. Let's pull them up real quick. Gear needed. Maybe it's just bugging out. Cal Tarful. All right, maybe it's just bugging out, or you might be waiting for him because of that stupid event that's coming up. But regardless, you have what you need for him, which is yeah, okay. You do have him. I don't know why .gg is kind of telling me that you don't have them. I think it's just a bug with the fact that that they're all G12 requirements instead of relic requirements. We've got Darth Malgus, obviously. So we got the road ahead on Friday, which is crazy. We never get the road ahead on a Friday. We always get on like a Tuesday. I was a little bit pissed off. I came home, I ran into my house, I kissed my wife, and I was like, hey, I need to go into the other room. I got to do this. I got to do this thing. I got to make this video. There's a lot of stuff coming out now, and you're in a 500 million guild. The road ahead significantly changed what I'm doing with my account. I was going full steam ahead on Bo-Katan. I was doing 2 refreshes on Keller and Beck. I was doing 1 refresh on 812. I expected to be done with it in a month. I've completely stopped refreshing those events because, you know, we've got the 4 Gungans coming out. We're having Jar Jar come out. We're having Queen Amidala come out. We have the new raid coming out in July. And you're going to need those Gungans for the raid. And they're going to definitely be Kyrotech heavy. So I don't want to say you should be in a holding pattern. I don't think holding pattern is necessarily the right word for what you should be doing right now. But I do want to say that you should be more cautious about where you're putting your resources if your guild is going to care about this raid. It's, you know, we don't know what to expect. We don't know what the reward structure is going to be like. We don't know if it's going to be easy like the Leia raid. We don't know if Jar Jar is going to kind of be like the Jabba of the crate raid, and he's going to just be so solid that you can't do without him. We don't have any idea. So I would say stay slow farming on your shard farms, right, with Bo-Katan. But I'm really nervous to tell you to go for something, knowing that all of this stuff is going to be coming up that is really important. I know that you're not a spender. We've talked about this, and your timeline for the Gungans is going to be much slower. So when I say you should be in a holding pattern, I don't necessarily mean don't spend anything, but I do mean it's hard to go full steam ahead on things. Oh, Ray, I don't give a shit about. Lord Vader. Man, this might be like the most nerve-wracking one that I've done in a long time, because I'm like, there's nothing that sticks out to me as being super hardcore important. Kylo Ren's not going to give you anything you're not already doing. Rey is not going to give you anything more than you're already doing. Lord Vader is very Kyrotech heavy. Bo-Katan is going to be probably the cheapest option. So, you know, it might be beneficial to just keep that slow farm on Bo and build up Bo. She seems to be pretty strong. She seems to be as strong as GLs in certain aspects. We do see kind of like a cyclical nature of the Datacrons that come out in the game. And by the time you're done with her, you'll probably be farming a lot of that Phantom Menace content that's coming out. So for right now, I would stick to smaller projects. I'll just kind of take a look at what you got for these Omicrons. Maybe there's something that sticks out. Star Killer, we got one. Do we have Third Sister yet? Definitely bring Third Sister to Relics. Give her the one Omicron. I don't remember which one it is. I'll actually pull it up in my game right now. I'll tell you which one the important one is. I'm loving it. We're going to get a copyright strike for that. Let's see. Is it the leader? Yeah. I put an Omicron on Third Sister's leadership, and I would definitely bring her to Relics as a smaller short-term investment. She's going to serve you really well, and it's not going to be expensive because you already have the G12 on her. More than, anything else, she is going to be a priority for you. Let's see what else we got here. Drogon, Hondo. Check out these guys. Do we have Savage? Savage might be another really good Omicron for you to get, right? You already have him at G12. So again, it's going to be a really low cost investment for you to bring him to Relics. I just don't think it's smart for you to take on a really big project right now with so many big things. Bo-Katan will take you like 2 to 3 months. So it's not this terribly big project that you're going to have to deal with. It's going to be much smaller. And at that time, those Gungans are going to be farmable. In the short term right now, while you're still slow farming those requirements, I think bringing Third Sister up to Relics and Omicroning the leadership and bringing Savage Opress up to Relics and Omicroning him is going to help you significantly for GAC. But I really would be in a holding pattern because your guild is going to want you to do that raid content. And we don't know anything about it right now. We just know, hey, maybe these guys will be used, or hey, maybe these other guys will be used. We don't know. Right. That's the best that I can say for you. And then again, that other point of advice that I have for you, man, is just when it comes to Leviathan, really decide how slow or fast you want to go with it, depending on if you actually need to or not. Right. If you're already going to be hitting the top like 3 consistently, you're not going to get an ROI on those crystals, and it'll be better doing it like 1 refresh a month and slowing down a little bit. All right. So we're going to kind of stick with that right now. I think that's the best advice that I can give you, especially road ahead going forward. Would my advice have been a little different last week? Probably. But knowing what we know, I think that that's the smartest way to go. So now, I do have 2 more reviews that I can do. But OMG, I think it's been weeks since we've had a real chat, and we've got a few viewers in here right now. Yeah. I want to take maybe 30 seconds to pour myself more coffee. But then we can kind of jump into that next portion of what we're doing. And, hopefully there's a few people that maybe have some questions about maybe yourself, Cardbreaks, what you're doing, want to find out more about me, find out the stuff that I don't generally talk about on stream because people are scared to ask me questions. So we're going to take 30 seconds. I'm going to pour myself some coffee, and then I think we're good to go.
Sounds good.
My cat is laying down over here, and it's actually kind of crazy that she's not jumping on top of the laptop and shutting these live streams down. So I'm excited about that.
Now you've willed it into existence.
Now we've willed it into existence. She's starting to wake up. She's like, oh man, what's going on? I don't see a reason to do my normal bullshit intro for Tales Off the Holotables, but for those of you that don't know, Tales Off the Holotables is something that I do on YouTube. I talk to big streamers, small streamers. I talk to regular players, people who, have something to say, but maybe don't have the platform to say it. I've talked to statisticians to kind of disprove a lot of the math theories that people have on this game. OMG, you definitely know this about me. I'm a huge contrarian, and when people give me information, I'm going to point out and be very pedantic and be like, well, wait a second. And that's kind of where I've carved out my niche in this
Just to be
game.
clear, for fun. Not because you're right or wrong, just for fun.
In the context of talking with you, yes, just for fun, right? But in the context of this game, there's, you've played like a wrestling version of this game, right? Like a WWE version.
Yeah, for a long time, yeah.
Do you still play? No, you gave it up.
Honestly, it's funny. You kept talking about return on investment. A lot of these games, I don't think you get the return, or you don't get content in a way where you're building towards, doing a raid or being part of a guild and like really kind of long-term interest. I think a lot of it is catered around, how do I get you to spend more money bi-weekly? Like that's
so you've met capital gains.
I have. I have.
Okay.
In some way I have.
So, or we should, call them capital gains. I mean, I don't know. That's that they were trying to hide that in there. So the way the game works, and you played a little bit last night, is that you do these nodes and you drop these, and they drop these shards, and there's specific drop rates for these shards. And since the beginning of the game, a lot of much smarter than I people have tracked the drop rates and said it's pretty much agreed upon that every single drop has a 33% drop rate. No questions asked. But over these 8 years, people have kind of said, well, wait a second. If you do it in sets of 2, you get a better rate. Or if you do it at night, you get a better rate. If you do all 5 of them at the same time, you're going to get a much worse rate. Or if you're close to the end of your farm, the game company kind of tapers you off to piss you off into spending. Or if you're like on the toilet singing a song with your pants off, like your rate increases by like 30%.
Is it like casino rules? Like the machine closest to the entryway pays out more than the other ones? I mean, it seems kind of...
Well, that's what everybody says, right? Everybody has these weird conspiracy theories, and I'm sure that people like listening at their own homes, they're kind of like, oh yeah, I've heard these things before. But over the last 3 years, I've been tracking data in the game, and I've had 20, 30, 40 people that I've kind of worked with to kind of help get data sets in like the 20 to 50,000 range. And so we had a statistician on to kind of point out the data and to kind of prove that none of that stuff is happening in this game. I've had a few different people. I have my guild leader on just to kind of find out, one, about myself, but also to talk to people about the game and talk to people from different walks of life. And one of the reasons that I thought it'd be fun to have you on here, like I kind of said much earlier in the stream, was that when I talk to people that know me from Reddit, they're too nice to me, right? Like they don't want to step on. They're very nice to me. Not people on Reddit, but like when I talk to people here, they almost like they don't want to piss me off. They don't want to like they don't want to do anything that'll make me angry or whatever else. So they kind of like tiptoe around things. And I've been looking for someone to be mean to me, right? I've been looking for someone to kind of like share a little bit more about me from a, no, this guy's an asshole kind of perspective. So while we're talking,
this is going to be fun. I mean, this is like Christmas morning.
This is Christmas morning. So while we're chatting, if anyone has any, questions and they're like, hey, does Egnards do this? Drop them in the chat and I'll make sure that OMG
I love it.
kind of...
Khan says they fear you use math against them. I don't know why. It's not like he's good at it. The more of a fake it till you make it.
It's true though. And I've told people, like, I do 4th grade math. I think
you're being generous.
I do the most basic statistics for this game, and I don't try to like hide that from people. Like tell them like 4th grade math. It's not, what I do is not hard. It's what we learned in the 4th grade. It's again, it's not difficult, but that it kind of brings me back to what Godzilla said before with like supporting my R9 Jar Jar Binks. For those who don't know, I very much intend on getting Relic 9 Jar Jar Binks, which is the highest you can get a character on day one of his event. I'm a little worried about doing that because I need to farm 4 more key characters. And
it's like I don't have context, so
yeah,
let's say that what you're saying is like a lofty goal.
yeah.
Is this a 24-hour commit? I mean, are you
being so to kind of explain explain in context what this means is the company CG is going to release 4 marquee characters, so 4 base level characters, and they'll do that as like a every 2 weeks they'll release one, and you'll only be able to buy them from packs. And then 3 weeks later, or actually the average is 29 days. I tracked it last night with Calvin Awesome over the last like 10 events. 29 days later, it'll be shipment farmable, which is like you can get them with premium currency at half the value. And then 29 days after that, they'll be free to play farmable. And the Jar Jar Binks event will come out 2 to 3 weeks after the last character is farmable. Each of those characters will take about 45,000 crystals to max out. And I'll need to max out all 4 of those characters in order to play the Jar Jar Binks event on day 1. Because of the cadence of release, I'll have to shipment farm 2 of them, and I'll have to hard whale 2 of them, which basically means that I'm going to need about 132,000 crystals in order to play the Jar Jar Binks event on day 1. I have 61,000 crystals on my account just from playing. Crystals are valued if you buy them from the store at $1 equals 165 crystals.
Jeez.
Okay, so if I take 132,000 crystals, subtract what I currently have, divide by 165, that basically means that I need $430 worth of crystals.
That's wild.
Over what I have right now to be able to whale on Jar Jar Binks. I don't have $420 to spend on this game. My mortgage payments.
I was about to say that's a lot. So when you say like heavy whale those 2 characters, I mean, are you blowing through that 61K that you have and then
so quickly?
Split the difference, or are you gonna pour some kind of capital into doing this so you can hit that event?
I think if it's at the $420 range, I just can't afford to do it. What I am hoping to do is I do a lot of math for people on Reddit. I do a lot of math through these roster reviews. People do sometimes buy me a beer. They Venmo me at Egnards, Egnards, no sponsor. Actually, I guess I am a sponsor of myself. On my buy me a beer page, basically any beers that are bought from me from this point till then is going towards this. So I'm hoping that over the next couple of weeks, as I do more reviews, that number will come down, so that I can use money that's other people's money to do it. And I think it's a fair exchange because I do the math for them, so I do the work for them. I'm not asking for donations. I'm not asking for people to say just send me money. I am saying put me to work.
Well, yeah, I was about to say, I think it makes sense when you have this kind of content creation. I mean, I think that you're investing in seeing someone that you would consider professional go through the process and watch to see kind of what happens. I think that's, to me, it's funny. It's eerily similar to something we'll talk about later with breaks. Is you want to buy a box of cards, right? And it costs like $400 or $500. Sometimes the easiest way to get into that is maybe I just buy a team or a spot for $10, and it just lets me see how it plays out. I get a small piece of the action, but more importantly, I see what happens, and then I can determine if it's worth me investing the $430. So I think it's actually a very familiar concept.
It's a very similar thing.
Does make sense.
You just do it with real stuff, and I do it with pixels.
I mean, this is real stuff. I mean, this is tangible. It's part of your squad and your team. So I don't, I think it's more real than like an NFT. You know what I mean? Like
That's true.
this is at least going into
Jeez.
a game that has a community and has a
We
lot
could
of backing. So I wouldn't undercut it.
do some of those Donald Trump NFTs. Maybe I'll make
Or the
that money.
$400 golden shoes. Do you see that?
There we
He
go.
tried to hawk
Yeah.
some like fake shoes and he got booed off stage.
Yeah. Why wouldn't we do it that way? Like, I'm also thinking,
Yeah, what's going on, Andrew?
I mean, Edie Ryan, man, like, yes, Jar Jar's my man. I got my YouTube reaction video up. I'm a smaller content creator. I got like 1,200 views within 24 hours, which I'm surprised by. I shotgunned a beer at the end of it, just out of sheer excitement. YouTube's gonna ban me for doing it, I'm sure. I don't care. I am super pumped. Like Jar Jar is freaking life for me. I am beyond ecstatic. And like I said, I need about 70,000. I think the day that his first marquee drops, I'm going to do like a live telethon, right?
Wow.
I'll have like my Venmo up at the top, and I'll bring in special guest creators and jugglers
You'll just have people help provide sustenance so you can keep going.
to try to farm my Jar Jar for me.
Uber Eats myself, so I don't have to get up and stop playing.
I'm taking that day off from work. Like, I'm just gonna sit at home and do an all-day live stream, trying to make up that money. I think that actually I might do that. It might be funny to do that.
So I just saw a comment and somebody alluded to it beforehand. So Edie Ryan said the petition worked, and again, before someone was mentioning about the petition, and then you commented about the petition.
Yeah, so let me kind of.
Is this real? Did you really petition the game creators for this?
I don't have it on Chrome. Let me pull it up, and if you want to like share that screen back, I'll show it to people that
absolutely
don't know the context on this. I'll pop it on Google. There we go. So basically what ended up happening is about a month and a half ago, Meathead, who's the community manager of the game, he, in one of the Discord servers, had dropped and said, hey, someone should start a petition to bring Jar Jar the game if you want him so much. And I happened to see that message, and I'm pretty sure he was kind of trolling me personally for this. So I started this petition just as a joke, bring Jar Jar Binks to Star Wars Galaxies.
Onchange.org. That's incredible.
Right. Onchange.org. I did all of the research on this, right? All of the characters who have less screen time than Jar Jar Binks who are in the game. Like all of my reasonings for it. And it ended up getting, now that it's a victory, I can't see how many people signed it. Oh no, there it is. 2,675 different signatures on this thing over the course of like a month. And about maybe 3 weeks ago to a month, the community manager reached out to me and he sent me a screenshot of my petition with like some trolling remarks. And I kind of took that as he knows that Jar Jar's coming to the game. He just wants to piss me off. And he knew what he was doing. And the day that they announced it, I actually messaged him on Discord. I called him an old dirty bastard, and he laughed and giggled.
I mean, you're kind of like the John Oliver of this game. I mean, like you're just going after capital games and like holding them accountable, doing like a really well thought out petition, getting the character into the game. I mean, this is trolling at its finest.
That's a good way to, John Oliver just likes to spend HBO's money.
I
don't like to spend my own money. That's not a bad way.
Community union rep. I think it's pretty impressive.
That is a good way to look at it. I'm kind of low key hoping he sends me some crystals. I don't think he will. I'm not gonna push him for it. I'm not a beggar. We got it. I'm happy.
Some way he does see the stream. Maybe he can, provide a little extra so you can hit that Jar Jar Binks goal. That's the least he could do, since you are the reason why he's in the game, right?
I would like to think so. I know it was probably already in development, but I would like to think
say I am the reason Jar Jar's in this game, and if anyone else disagrees, they can go pound sand.
that is it going, to my head, but I'm super excited. I'm pumped. I have been trying, for those of you who are listening, I've been trying to get him to do a Tales Off the Hollow Tables episode with me.
Oh, wow.
He did message me about it. We have talked about it a little bit. I would like to see him come on and chat with me. I don't think anyone has done that with him yet. I know in the past, community managers have chatted with content creators. I think that this will be the first time for him. So I am hoping, and I'm kind of like, we'll see what happens.
Oh, thank you, Edie Ryan. It's OMG Card Pulls on YouTube. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, while we're chatting, I'll pull that up and I'll send a link to him as well.
I appreciate it. And I think it's also maybe a good segue into this Tales from the Hollow Table, just kind of getting into the personal. I thought that was, when you reached out to me, I thought this was kind of interesting, because even from my own, experience with streaming and my own kind of content universe, you don't often actually get the perspective of the personality. You don't know the person behind the camera. And we talked before the stream, this is actually very different, because typically in my universe you don't see who I am. You have no idea. You see my hands, I break cards, so it's a top down effect. I'm a hand model. Yeah, essentially. You don't ever see who OMG actually is. So I thought how interesting that this version of the series for you brought in somebody that has known you for 2.5 decades. Is that weird?
2.5. We're almost 37 at this point.
I think it's
and
2.5.
What was it? The 8th grade
years.
Something like that. We've known each other a very long time.
Yeah.
What I did want to ask you about these card pulls, I was thinking about it this morning. I know you do baseball cards. I know you were talking about Star Wars cards. You've done Star Wars cards in the past. Yeah. Do you do like TCGs at all?
It's very funny that you said that, because we actually are just expanding into that realm. Okay. We had a lot of people that had brought in content and interest around Pokemon, and Lorcana was a big one. And now Star Wars Unlimited is coming out. I don't know if you heard about this. It's kind of a big TCG, and a lot of people are behind it. And I think it comes out in a few weeks. So I believe that that's something that would be very exciting, because I think the concept of breaking is not just for sports. I think it's the same idea we just talked about, which is you want to make these things readily available to people that maybe can't invest the capital or can't afford it, right? Maybe I can't go to a game store or go to an online store and spend, $150 on the latest Magic set. But maybe I can buy into a break and get some cards, and then use those cards to get credit on trade-ins, and then buy more product myself. It's a really smart way of investing. And then in time, you kind of get to build your decks. You get to be a part of the game. You get to, eventually, even though it might be a little bit longer than the people that invest early on, become competitive in it. So I think TCG is going to be fun. And I really do want to do Star Wars Unlimited. I think that comes out in a few weeks. I'd love to get a couple of boxes and actually just do a break and say, look, I've invested 300. We'll do 30 spots. We'll do it by, name, or, we can figure out a way to do it. $10 a spot. And then people basically walk away with a lot of cards, and they can kind of start playing without having to put in the $200 or $300.
So you're like a nerd bookie.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what you do. That's your hobby. I talk to people and I help them, and you are their bookie.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I'd like to say I'm a bringer of joy. I think that's a better way of saying it. I'm like Santa,
bringer of joy, breaker of legs. It's the same thing.
Well, when we do these breaks, we get people in the community that you probably have a very similar experience. People that really enjoy the sport and they enjoy the hobby. Collecting cards and comics, I mean, it's a hobby. People have been doing it for decades, right? So there are people that truly are like, I'm a huge Yankee fan, or I'm a huge Colorado Rocky fan. And, I don't want to spend $500 to buy these box of cards. I'll spend $15 on the Colorado Rockies, and I get any card that's from that team. Or football. Football was a big one. Right up into the Super Bowl, people were just breaking football cards, and you had people basically just fighting for their teams. Nobody wants to spend $2,000 at a chance at getting an auto for their team, but they might spend 50 to 100 just to buy the Jets or the Giants. So, I think I'd like to say I'm like a nicer owner of a casino, right? I'm gonna take your money, but I'm just not gonna take all of it.
But you're gonna smile about it.
Yeah, I'm super fun and happy. I'm gonna pat you on the back on the way out.
Now, there's something that Solo had mentioned earlier that I'm going to jump to in a second, but I think he had just asked a question that's kind of like right up your wheelhouse, because you are the dork that knows the price on everything, right? Like your dad was into like comic books and memorabilia. You guys go to like Comic-Con every year. You have booths set up at these things sometimes. When Solo Straight asks about the Goldenrod C3PO from the 70s, I have no idea what he's talking about. I just smile and I go, yeah, sure. Okay. I'm assuming you know what he's talking about, but do you have some kind of more information on that? Or are you like, oh, I'll have to look that up later?
I'm sad that I know, but most of those cards, I think that one in particular, there's like raw versus graded. So I think the graded cards, if you get like a 9 or a 10, I think you're probably in the $300 to $500 range on that card. Those cards, I think, were notoriously hard to get in high grades. So when I say grading, what I mean is you can basically get cards and you can seal them in these. Here, I have one right here. So this is just a baseball card. This is one of my favorites. It's an error card. So this is a Billy Ripken error card from Flair. It's not the best grade, but the reason why I bought it is I'm going to zoom in. If you can see the bottom of the bat knob.
I see your ring light.
So it's an error card that was printed with F face on it. So they made a boo-boo when they printed this card. So it says fuck face on the bottom. So yeah. So I put that one and got that one graded.
That's nice.
But it's all cards. So Star Wars has a really big following. A lot of people like to get those older cards graded. So the Goldenrod 3PO, I think that's the one that has like the green border, and he's kind of like leaning over. That one I'd say probably $300 to $500 if you get it graded.
You know what's sad is I think about that and I go, oh, that's not that bad. I go, oh.
I don't think it's that bad either, to be honest. Those cards are not easy to find, and they're not easy to find in and like I have an example. So like those cards, this is a I just picked these up from a store, but these are like old school Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle packs from the movie. So the reason I'm showing this is the old Star Wars cards used to be in packaging like this. We used to call them, they're wax packs, because the pack is actually made out of wax, and they would put like bubble gum in them. But the problem with these is they're terrible at moisture, and the cards get so damaged. So when you say, oh, I have a C3PO from the 70s from a wax pack like this, and it's a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10, I think $500 is probably low. I would probably it's probably a better investment to hold, because
I have a ton of those packs, by the way, that I need you to stop by. Yeah, I have baseball and some from the 90s, but I think some 80s and 70s. I'll have to send them to you because I don't know anything about it.
You can actually grade the packs now. So like, let's say you found a bunch of packs and you're like, man, these are well kept, climate controlled, they're not open. You can send it out and they'll grade your pack for you, and the pack becomes worth like an extra $300 or $400 on top of it.
I'll have to look. Do you do any traveling to these shows at all?
I do. I actually was at the National for a couple of years. I had a partnership with Network, so I broke live for Network at the National last 2 years. That was a lot of fun. Heavy baseball, basketball breaks, a lot of fun. It's a lot of pomp and circumstance. And then I do Comic-Con every year as well. I know you alluded to it. My old man's been doing Golden and Silver Age comics for a long time. So we'll go to Comic-Con and, we deal with a lot of high grade comic books and other kind of various hobbies, cards too sometimes. That's a whole nother market. Comics is wild, the value on some of those books. Star Wars is in the conversation too. I mean, those older Star Wars books are pretty incredible in price.
So you're a dork.
Huh?
So you're a dork.
No, I'm a collector.
All right,
Yeah,
that's fine.
dorks. It's a fine line. Like when you're a dork would be someone that like I don't know does like really basic math for a game for like 8 years. But I'm more of a
That's like
collector.
7 years, but that's fine. So I'm still fine
I
for
know I
that
was
year.
talking about you. It was a general statement.
So now, first of all, Lady Geek, good morning. I know we chat a lot on Reddit and Discord, so I think you've probably stopped in to a few of these streams. This is the first time I've seen a comment of yours.
Hi,
Are
Lady Geek.
you, OMG? Are you going to Chicago this year?
I am not, unfortunately.
No.
That would have been fun. Yeah, it would have been fun. I'm trying to keep it to the East Coast as best as I can. I did travel. The Nationals, the only one I traveled for, and will continue to travel for, just because of what it's just so much harder to get product and inventory to do this with. So that's the right place to go to if you want to kind of subsidize yourself for the year. But I will not be at C2E2.
So you hate Chicago? Is that what you're saying?
I love
Chicago.
Chicago. Chicago is great. Great food.
Okay.
Great people.
All right.
Little cold, little windy. I mean, they have the casserole for pizza, but other than that, it's a great place.
Yeah. So I wanted to bring this back, and I mentioned this earlier. Solo had said something in regards to getting a juggling act for my live telethon, and I wanted to mention that because I find it funny. And man, if you know any jugglers who will go on stream and juggle for my money,
you are a juggler. Why don't you juggle for your own stream? Hold on, no, that is the most wild.
I can't do any like special juggling. I don't think I have any juggling balls in this room.
As you pull out 3 tennis balls and start juggling them.
No, I don't have any in here. I was actually at the grocery store yesterday. My wife, she wanted me to stop to get like spicy pineapple juice and tequila. She was just like, I really want this spicy pineapple and tequila. So we went and grabbed limes, and I was pissing her off because I was sitting there walking to the checkout, juggling limes. And she was like, you need to cut it out. Like, stop. You're acting like a child.
Yeah. Just change your tip jar to I will juggle for tip.
We'll juggle for tip.
Yes,
yeah, you know card tricks, man. You're gonna pop on.
Very strange talent. I have a very strange depth of card tricks, so I can do.
We're gonna get a magic act on there. We're gonna do this. We'll do it like totally old school. We'll get somebody to come in and tell jokes. I think it'll be really funny to do. I don't think it'll provide any revenue, but I'll still find it to be hilarious. And that's really the reason that I do this is because I find myself hilarious. Would you say that's true?
That makes one. That's you got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere.
The only person who finds me hilarious is
as we're doing this, by the way, I know we have a decent amount of viewers. If anyone who has been in the community with Egnards that has any great questions, that would like to know something about him that only I would know, I would love to answer some of these questions. He is not who he says he is.
I am.
Plenty of horrible things I can tell you about him, and I'm just waiting for a prompt to do so.
Actually, I was telling a story. I don't know if I don't think he's on right now. No, he's not on, but he does usually watch these things. I was telling a story 2 days ago on Reddit, and people didn't believe me. So I actually had to post a small short video of it. So OMG and I, we both have the same birthday. We're best friends. We have the same birthday. And we have this tradition where we go out to dinner every year. And, one of us will pay for it. We kind of switch off. This year is my turn. But the other part of this tradition is we both agree not to get each other gifts. And then one of us will inadvertently break that.
It's an agree to disagree. Hold on. So it's one of those things where every year we comically will say no gifts. And then inevitably we just end up getting gifts. So
yeah, but what'll happen is I'll take you for your word and I won't get you a gift. And then it'll be like, oh man, I just picked up this thing. No big deal. And it'll be like this $300 like crazy thing. And it'll piss me off, right? Because I'm like, I didn't fucking get you anything.
I hope you understand that it's less about the fancy gift, more about the pissing you off.
Which is where I'm getting to with this story, because I was telling it on Reddit. So last year we went out to dinner at a fancy steakhouse, and that's like the one fancy dinner I do every year. And I bought you a cocktail smoker, and I got a one-up on you, and you were really pissed off because you didn't get me anything. And 3 weeks later, you sent me Elden Ring. as a late birthday gift, knowing that I hate Souls games, right? That I hate them so much, and you thought it was funny to spend $50 on pissing me off.
Well, I think there's also more context that's needed to it. There's certain things that, like, when you know somebody really well, you know that there's certain gifts that just keep giving. So we have always had a weird kind of fixation on RPGs and just kind of these slow burn games. The more difficult, the better platformers like Mega Man. And I knew that getting you that game wouldn't just be you bastard, you got me a game. It would be I have to spend 100+ hours of my life on this game because I can't not. And I think that was what brought me greater joy, is I knew what was going to happen. I just didn't know you were going to go as far as you went.
So that's the thing. This is the story I was telling on Reddit, because they were asking about hate playing games, right? And it was this thing in like our games or whatever about like hate playing. And I was telling the story about how you sent me this game, and it was the end of the summer or like the early September, and I still had a few days off from work. And just as a giant like FU to you, I decided like, hey, I am going to sit down and I am going to 100% this game, just so that I can send you a screenshot of my middle finger and the platinum trophy and say like, hey, fuck you, man. Like, I did it. I know you didn't expect me to do it.
Which is also a double kind of FU, because I was also playing the game at the same time. And I was pretty aggressively playing it. So you kind of also took the wind out of my sails.
So what I ended up doing, I think it took me 4 or 5 playthroughs, and I didn't realize this at the time, but it took me, I can't go into game to see my actual save file because I have literally deleted the game from my PS5. I've sold the game because I don't want it in my house.
You sold my gift?
I sold your gift. I don't care. I got rid of it. It needed to be out of my house.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't care.
Section, I would like to hear everyone's opinion on that. Selling.
Do you still have my Pennywise Funko Pop that I sent you? My Pennywise Funko Pop
That's not the same thing.
Yeah, it is the same
Actually,
thing.
I'm pretty sure it's upstairs somewhere.
Well,
it's
next time I come over,
it's upstairs somewhere.
We're gonna see about that. So I can't see my actual save file. I don't know how many hours it took me to actually 100% it. But what I was able to do was look at how many hours I've spent in game, because PS5 tracks that. And I 100% of this game that you're telling me I should have spent over 100 hours on in 92 hours. And people on Reddit were like, I call bullshit. Like, there's no way it'll take you 70 hours, 80 hours just to do the first playthrough. So I went back and I took a video of my screen, and 92 hours, 100% in Elden Ring. It's either 4 or 5 playthroughs, just so that I could send you a screenshot that said, fuck you, man.
Which, by the way, it's not a hypothetical. That is exactly what I received. And solo, yes, I do figures, cards, comics, everything. So we're actually ramping up to do a really cool Whatnot stream. So if you're interested, OMG card pulls across the board. We're actually partnering with Whatnot. That's our latest partnership, and we have a lot of really incredible Star Wars Funkos, old school action figures from like the 90s, 80s. Just really awesome stuff that we're going to be putting up. So we do everything. The Cardbreaks was really kind of just how it started. I think we're trying hard to expand and try to just be more collectible oriented. So everything from toys to TCGs to sports cards, comics as well.
While you circle jerk with Solo about this stuff, I'm gonna go grab some more.
I like Solo better than you already.
Well, yeah, you should, because he's a nice guy.
Not a high bar.
He's a nice guy. So you keep talking about bullshit. I'm gonna just grab some more coffee.
Fine. But yeah, Solo. So I don't know if you're interested in action figures or Funko Pops, but yeah, it's kind of the thing that I find to be equally fun. I think the community's pretty fun too. A lot of these people are collectors and people that just were trying to piece together, either full runs or sets, and they're always jumping into streams and trying to say, oh, do you have that piece? I'm 2 away from completing the full run, or so it's always a lot of fun when we do those streams. Oh, cool. Toy Biz Marvel Legends. Yeah, dude, the large Marvel Legends, that was a big set. That was the Build-A-Figure. You used to buy like 8 to 10, and then each one of them had a little piece in there. You could build like a bigger figure. I still have a ton of them, but I used to have way more of those. Those were very, very popular to sell.
So, I mean, honestly, I'm gonna have to link you up with Solo because you guys will have so much to talk about. I chat with him often about Mega Man, but you're getting into nerd territory that's way, way above my pay grade. Before
You never played with toys? Don't lie to the people.
No, you saw my room growing up. I had all my Star Wars figures on my wall because I was that idiot that was like, oh, I'm just gonna like collect them and stare at them.
As was I.
So I was a dork in that regard. So one thing I want to do before I get back into Conk, good morning, man. Thank you for joining us. You got my math protege over here who's niching himself out as a nicer version of me on Reddit. Maybe he can take over for me so that I don't have to spend as much time.
Not a high bar.
But before I go into more, reviews, and then we get into some card breaks, and I can kind of learn more about your world. I just because I like to knock myself down a peg, and I like to be self-deprecating. Embarrassing stories. I know you have 100 of them.
Oh God!
Please share one or two of them.
It's just you get to a point.
People can laugh at me. Did I put you on the spot?
It's not. I don't mind. It's just when you've known someone for that long, it really is just.
I need someone to knock me down a peg, man. I was relying on you to be the person to do that. So if you're gonna be nice to me,
no. I there's a lot of these I can't tell because they're not appropriate. But I'm trying to think of like any really good ones. Oh man, I'm gonna have to let me think about that one before I dive into any of them. I don't want to, there's a couple that I don't want to put out in the ether.
All right, so you want to be too nice. All right, that's fine. So what I'm going to do is if you could, we'll transition back over and I'll be helpful to people. If you could pull my screen back up since you're in charge of all of that today, which has been really nice. I don't have to worry about any of like the streaming aspects. I'm kind of digging that. If you could jump in on literally every one of my streams and just do this.
Just man to the stream.
Just man the stream. No, don't talk. Don't say anything. Just kind of be the silent background help. That would be super great.
The Vanna White.
You could be my Vanna White and not get a raise for 30 years. What a dick move.
And still be drop dead gorgeous.
Oh, well, not you, but that's fine. No. All right, so we're going to pull up this next one, Kumaset. Let's see what he says to me on Discord. I've been finishing second in my fleet arena for the last 3 months, doing first now. I'm the second of 3 executors on my shard. So this is a newer player, right? So these are kind of clues that tell me it's somebody newer. I'm following your Reddit posts. CT1, 5 of 7, CT2, 2 of 7, CT3, 1 of 7. These are from my memory. So he's a newer player, still kind of working on the ROI on his account. So that's something we're going to have to check out that I haven't actually had to do yet today. He is a light speed bundler, which means he bought these $10 packs to be able to get really close to 2 Galactic Legends. Super, super high value packs. Finished Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, just unlocked Executor, but now I'm at a crossword. I'm sure a lot of other LSB players are as well. Do I finish Rey, or is there something better to do? I tried to blow up my account to 4 million for Proving Ground, so be kind. What a lot of people don't realize when I do these roster reviews is that I do try to be kind. There are some things that kind of make me go, oh, like shit, like what is this person doing? But I'm not roasting rosters like I found that there's this one streamer who people pay him like $50 and all he does is roast their rosters. Like if I'll do that for you for free. Like I don't. So I'm not here for that, but if there's anyone on who needs some look at their roster, you can hit me up on Discord. It's Egnards, Egnards, lowercase e, and I'll hook you up with
I
this
would
stuff
love to
that I
do
do
that.
every.
I'd love to show you my like 2-week-old roster, so you could
You're
just destroy
nobody.
it. Yeah, just be like this. Like, how dare you?
Be like, you suck.
Yeah. I'll give you $50 for that.
50. All right, I'll do it for you. I'm so close to Ray, but taking Jedi Training Ray and BB-8 to R7 feels bad when I could take, say, Han and Chewie to R7. 50 of 65 on Radis, which he'll need for Ray. I think my shorter term goals are fairly narrow after that. Okay. All right, so we're going to take a look at this roster. We have a 4 million account. Does it say when they created this account? I feel like it does on mobile. I guess maybe it doesn't on here. I don't know. Doesn't matter. It's a newer account. It's a newer shard. Arena page. He's doing first or second of third. There's only 3 executors. What I would suggest is there might not be a fleet Discord yet for you. Set one up. Be the person that sets it up, because you're going to set the tone for later when it comes to people working with each other instead of being adversarial. Set it up, reach out to people, see if you can get people working together. It's going to help you a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, so that you don't have to worry so much about your fleets. You are getting first. I just want to see if, and your executor is only 4 stars. I would slow burn it. Don't go too fast with bringing your fleet to 7 stars right now, because it's a waste of crystals if you don't need to do it. I might recommend doing 1 refresh a month just to half the time it takes, because you're eventually going to need it at 7 stars, but you don't need it right now because you're hitting those crystals. Don't over prioritize it. Let's see what we got for these GLs. We got Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. Rey's fairly close. Jedi Knight Luke's not terrible. Nobody cares about Kenobi anymore. Bought the Star Killer bundle. Jabba's far away. All these guys. Okay, let's check out this account. All right, we know that this guy is doing 5 of 7 on CT1 and only 1 on CT3. The one he's doing at CT3 is probably Places of Power, because he has Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. It kind of sucks because it's going to be 1 star, which means he's going to have to do it manually every single month. Let's see.
Oh, that's a good question, Solo. The answer's Thrawn. Just diehard Thrawn fan. I was a big Heir to the Empire kid in the 90s, and obviously just with the comic books as well. I couldn't get enough of them. Just to me, it was just like the world-class strategist, the good bad guy, the villain you root for. So just really enjoyed, and I read all the books. So just one of the characters in Star Wars lore that I felt that really just kind of epitomized how capable it is to take a universe and add a really good villain or a really good hero, and have it be so good it becomes canon, right? So Thrawn, my little Thrawn guy here. It's my little, see, don't call me a nerd or a dork. So I'm a huge fan. So thank you, Solo.
All right, this is my part of the show, but that's fine. I'll let you have that 2 minutes. I was
having a conversation, so you continue that.
I was just looking at some assault battle viability to see where we're at with all of this. Now we have a 4 million account. One thing that I do want to check, obviously CT3 was Places of Power. We don't have Hermit Yoda yet. We don't have Wampa set up yet. We don't have Rebel Officer Leia at all yet. So to answer the one question, now this person messaged me a few days ago, so I don't think we got the Radis event in those couple of days. Yeah, still at 4 stars. It's going to take you another month to get that to 5 stars because of the 2-week cadence. And you'll be at 60 and then you'll be at 70 out of 65. Don't refresh that event because it doesn't matter, because you're a Lightspeed bundle player. You're you're going to be in such a major Zeta crunch that speeding things up unnecessarily isn't going to be such a huge deal for you right now. God, these stupid ads. I need to pay this website. So you're not in a rush to get Ray, but because you are a Lightspeed bundle player, I do 100% recommend finishing Ray. You can do it on the slower side, but basically you spent $10 to get all of those characters pretty high up. And at your level of gameplay, no GL is a bad GL, right? There's no Galactic Legend that's a bad character. There's some that are less viable than others. I happen to think Ray is one of the last ones a player should get, unless you've bought the Lightspeed bundle. And because you did it, yes, you should be investing in JTR and BB-8. It's a great question, Con. I'm going to get to that in a second because I do have pretty strong feelings on ad blockers and whatever else.
It requires common sense, so it's probably not your real
It requires common sense. So Ray should be a priority just because you're close to it, and it is going to help you with GAC and kind of building crystals off of that. What I think you should be doing while you're building that is you should be building towards Jedi Master Luke, which means prioritizing Wampa, which means prioritizing Hermit Yoda with your Get One, which also means prioritizing Rebel Officer Leia, which you can get through the bounty event, all right, which comes around very infrequently. But I think the only other way, and I haven't had to do this farm in a long time, but I think is like Get 2 or Get 3. And as much as I hate the idea of spending those important resources on a character like that, I do think Jedi Master Luke is really important for your account. You are a 4 million character who has bloated to get to Conquest and to Proving Grounds. Jedi Master Luke is the strongest Conquest character. And he does, again, like I said before, this is information coming secondhand because I've never had to do Proving Grounds. Jedi Master Luke with the correct characters can do pretty much every tier, right? You can't just put him with anybody, but he can do every tier if you have the right characters. And there's a lot of video resources on that. There's a lot of Reddit resources on that. He's going to help you build that ROI by allowing you to CT3 military might with your Commander Luke Skywalker team. And he's going to allow you to CT3 ground war with your Jedi Knight Luke team. Right, no speed on Luke, start him as the leader, and always use that event special to end the round just so that you can build that up. So you're getting 2 more assault battles, you're getting conquest viability, you're getting Proving Grounds viability, you're getting a character that is really good in TV as well, and you're getting a character that splits really well in territory battles. So I definitely think that you should be going for Ray, slow farm it, you're close, but with Radis, slow farm it. Going after Ray, going after Jedi Master Luke, and because you'll have Jedi Knight Luke at that point, I would be going after Jabba after that, right? I haven't even looked at your Jabba marquee requirements, but it doesn't matter since they're all accelerated at this point. Kursatan is Cantina farm. You can do that in a week to 2 weeks with some refreshing. Skiff will take you 3 months at absolute maximum, but you're going to want to start slow farming him towards the beginning of your Jedi Master Luke. Well, actually towards the middle of your Jedi Master Luke farm. And Bosch, you're going to want to do the same thing, but you can do it a little later because she's already 5 stars. Don't bother refreshing them. They're not going to be limiting factors for you. But after you do Jedi Master Luke, Jabba is going to be a really solid choice because he's going to give you CT3 on your Rebel Roundup. And he's also going to give you that Smuggler's Run 2 event, right? And I've talked about that already, I think all 3 roster reviews, just how important that is for a player to build towards, right? Once you get to that point, we're probably looking at like a 6 to 8 month time frame. The game's going to shift. You know, we're going to have the new raid out. We're probably going to have the new Galactic Legend announced. We're probably going to have the new fleet announced. Those things probably won't affect where you want to go because you're a newer player, but you always kind of want to stay on the pulse of what's going on. So I think those are the things that you should be doing right now. Before we move on to the last one, I have Warlock. You know, I appreciate ad blockers. I don't necessarily have a problem with people using them, but the way that I see it is we live in an age where the internet is a free resource, and I understand that companies, you know, sell our data, and it does suck. Everybody has my data anyway. But I think if everybody were using ad blockers, we would live in a space where nothing would be free, right? Everything would have some kind of price against it. So when I have a website like Star Wars galaxyofheroes.gg, which does have premium content, which does sell subscriptions, I'd rather be able to support them in this small way so that they can, hit even just a little bit of revenue because I'm not paying them. As long as ads aren't overly intrusive, it doesn't bother me. When they get like disgusting and they're all over the place and you can't navigate the page, that's when I use ad blockers. But for something like this, I prefer to give them like 30 seconds or 40 cents or, whatever it is.
We might have to do a GoFundMe and make you a patron.
Okay, yeah, I don't know I think it's like $5 a month. There's a lot of supporters of this website. I see it a lot when I do these roster reviews. There's a lot of people that do support it, and it is awesome that there's people in the position that are able to do that, and I support them doing that. But until I'm in a position where I'm able to do that consistently, they can have my pennies on a dollar at the very least for helping me be a content creator and being able to do this stuff. And it's the same thing with like I send out my free Twitch subscription every month to different people just so that they can get $1. It doesn't cost me anything with my Amazon Prime, just to kind of lightly support the people that I think are doing good work. I got one more that I want to do. I just want to grab a timestamp here. 46:30. All right, we got this Jawa fanatic, UtinniUtinni.
I'm gonna take a quick coffee break and I'll be back.
No, you're not allowed to do that.
I require coffee.
All right, that's fine. I'm on my 3rd cup. Whew. All right, so let's see what we got. Utinni says, if you have time for a roster review, I'm trying to decide on what to prioritize next. Any suggestions would be appreciated. I'm not above a fun farm, but I'm highly focused on efficiency. So this is a player that's a lot more like the kind of thing that I like to do. Short summary of the account. I quit the game for 4-ish years and came back recently. Came back from Mara Jade. I feel my account is full of unfinished squads, but I make do. My fleet arena is full of Leviathans, with about half of them R9 Sith assassins. The fleet mafia is not kind to other folks' payouts, but I am persistent. I have tried many times to open up a dialogue to a number of people to no avail, kindly stating I will only go for second and don't want to mess up anyone's payout. Assault battles, CT1 6 of 7, CT2 5 of 7, CT3 4 of 7. Inquisitors are bad. Imp troopers aren't there for CT3 for Rebel Roundup. Maybe Jabba can get me there. But Gar Saxon and Super Commando got me CT3 on Forest Moon. Phoenix gets me CT1 on Secrets and Shadows. I have a lot of directions I could go. Almost a year ago, I unlocked Gas, but then the raid wanted Jabba, so I pivoted to him. Then Leviathan was announced, so I pivoted so that I could finally get Fleet Arena crystals. I finished Leviathan and then went for Leia. LSB'd Rey along the way and finished her unlock last month. I just unlocked Jabba yesterday. Wow, for someone who quit for 4 years, we're doing a lot of work, which is nice. I'm going to do a farm for Guild TV Ops, and then I have a lot of ways to go depending on the road ahead. My thoughts on order are below, but I also just ran out of Zetas on Jabba. Should I ditch that and do Profundity instead so I can slow farm ship shards for 2.5 years? Any thoughts are greatly appreciated. And then he kind of just lists a bunch of different things that he's thinking about relicking. Nothing that's really important to kind of hear about, just some stuff to kind of to consider from my end. Let's see what we got going on here. Got an 8 million account. It kind of sucks that he's in what we would call a fleet, a mafia. It sucks. This is actually the first time I'm doing a roster review where somebody specifically pointed out that they have a hostile fleet arena. I hate when it happens. I think that people are very short-sighted in being hostile, but there's really not too much that you can do about it. I do feel for this person. We're not going to overly prioritize fleets, but it does look like they're getting some crystals at the very least. The one thing that you can try to do is make it as annoying as possible for these guys in fleet. and just kind of always being polite with them. I did that with my fleet arena. They weren't necessarily hostile, but they were a little bit more hesitant to allow new people in. And it came down to be a stalemate of like, hey, I don't want to step on your toes, but this is just beneficial to both of us. And I was able to get in, with not too much effort. But we're not going to focus on that too much. We're going to assume that they're going to be hostile all around. We have 4 Galactic Legends. Okay, we have Jedi Knight Luke. Let's see where we are. So this person messaged me before we got the road ahead. The road ahead was on Friday, and they messaged me maybe on Wednesday or Thursday. So it's kind of like funny thinking about it now, knowing this information. But this guy is in a lower tier guild in regards to worrying about what might be at the very top end for people and what a top end player might want to see. Some 11 millions. Okay, I can actually go to their recruitment page. They're doing 25 in ROTE. They're doing the 145 in speeder bike. Okay. So what we do know is that the new raid is coming out in July, and a lot of guilds are going to probably be prioritizing Gungans. We do know that this person is a spender to some degree. We don't know. I don't know if they spend a lot, if they want to spend a lot, if they just bought the bundles because they were super cheap. Gungans are going to be the priority for people in my position, which are guilds that are in the like 550 to 600 million range. At 373, I don't think it's going to be a super big priority to fast farm or to whale farm. You might want to consider doing 1 refresh a day on the Gungans, but none of them have even been released yet. So we're talking about, at a bare minimum, like 3, 4, maybe 5 months before you need to worry about that at all. So, it plays into my decisions here, but I don't think it's necessarily the biggest thing. I do know that they're getting 6 to 7 on CT1, and I think that Inquisitors are probably the one they're not doing at CT1. Check out these Tuscans. All right, so it is Fantastical Devotion, the one that they're not doing at CT1 right now, which is fine. The ROI on that, the reason I'm looking into that is because the Zeta income, and I know that you're having trouble with Zetas, but you're getting 2 Zetas a month from that, and it'll take you and cost you Zetas to get there. You're not going to see the ROI for several years. But knowing that you're in a Zeta crunch means that you don't necessarily have to go super fast with your farms going forward. You can kind of slow it down just a little bit because you're going to need the Zetas, anyway. Let's see. We have 7-star Leviathan. We have Executor. I just want to check Outrider here. Outrider. Can't spell Outrider. We do have 7-star Outrider. Okay. And let's check out what our GL gear needed looks like. We have Leviathan. Kelkestis isn't really something that we need right now. Profundity. We have these guys. First of all, I mean, yeah, I don't. You didn't mention this in your message, or maybe you did, and I wasn't paying attention. That's something I would do at 9 in the morning. But Jedi Master Luke is a priority for you, right? A couple of reasons, obviously. Number one, it's going to help you with those assault battles. I don't know exactly which ones you're doing at CT3, but if you're not doing military might yet at CT3, and if you're not doing ground war at CT3, it's going to help you. But I think you might be already doing those things. The important thing, though, is at 8 million, you want a strong conquest character. You want somebody that's going to really help you to cheese all of the bullshit that we have to deal with in Conquest. And that's going to help you get those Proving Ground characters before they go to Proving Ground, so you don't have to deal with them. I've never had to deal with Proving Grounds. I know it's a pain in the ass. I've done a couple of them when CG fucked up and kind of said, hey, we're going to let you do them even though you already have the characters, and they were a pain in the butt. So if you can avoid it at all costs, great. Jedi Master Luke's going to help you to be able to do that. Let's see. Kenobi is great, but he's not really a priority anymore. I'm going to see where we are in GAC. We're in Kyber 3. We're pretty consistent there. It looks like we've dipped a little bit. We come up, we go back down, but we're staying in Kyber. So again, with the new raid coming up, I don't think Gungans are going to be a super high priority for you. You should be 1x refreshing those things as they become farmable, but you've got time on them. With the GLs that are currently out, with the GLs that are currently out, I think you should be going for Sith Eternal Emperor and Profundity, putting more emphasis towards Sith Eternal Emperor. That's going to help you with that Rebel roundup if Jabba's not doing it for you. But Jabba should be able to do that for you, so you shouldn't have problems with it once you do it. The reason that I think you should go for Sith Eternal Emperor is, 1, you're closer to him. 2, once Bane comes out, right, which is in 2 weeks, he's going to be an absolute madman with that Power of 2 ability. You're in Kyber. I doubt that you're going to be getting Bane first unlock in 2 weeks, but I can definitely see doing it in the 4 to 6 month range. So again, next month or within that 3 month range. And we're looking at the idea of no GL is a bad GL, right? Every GL is a really strong character in their own capacity. The reason that I think that you should be kind of putting a little bit of priority towards Profundity is that as a Kyber player, you need to prioritize fleets. Fleets win battles. Fleets get you to where you need to be. Fleets are what get you those crystals. And the sooner that you do that, the less crystals you'll have to spend on it, because you don't necessarily have to refresh them and use the 27,000 crystals in the short term. You can do it month over month since you already have Leviathan. So that's going to be your fleet climber, and you can kind of use Profundity at 4 stars or 5 stars to clean things up in GAC. I don't think Lord Vader is a priority to you, even though I do love Lord Vader in terms of what he does for an account and what he does for Conquest. I don't think Jedi Master Kenobi is a priority for you, even though he's really great. I know that Galactic Republic and Jedi are going to be useful in the upcoming raid, but Meathead kind of implies that they're not sure yet, right? So we don't know the exacts of what's going to be used, and I'm hesitant to say to go for something without that information. So I would say maybe put a little bit more priority towards Profundity. If we happen to find out that Kenobi is useful in the raid, that might be a really cheap option for you. It's something I'd keep more on the back burner rather than the forefront, right? Let's see. Do we have Commander? We have Ahsoka Tano. You know, you have Rey. I would bring Commander Ahsoka to R5 to R7. Even without Kenobi, she does really great in a Padme team. She does really great in a Rey team. She can be a real pain in the ass in a raid team. That's just a really good, more short-term option for you. Let's see, Order of Relics. I would definitely bring up Gas. So basically, when I'm looking at these things, I talked about this in another roster review. I think it was one that I did a little bit earlier on in this talk. Kind of being in a little bit more of a holding pattern of smaller farms. Profundity, slow farm, C, maybe slow farm, but you might want to be in a little bit of a holding pattern and do smaller projects until we find out more about the road ahead. Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, I don't really think is necessarily a priority for you. Inquisitors, I don't think is really a priority for you until your guild really starts pushing it. General Anakin is... Let me see where your 501st are. General Anakin is a really great character. Even if you only bring General Anakin up, he works really great in a Jedi Master Luke squad until you bring your 501st up. But the 501st is a really cheap, good squad. He's one of the top non-GL squads in the game. Ben Solo, you have Ray already. Do you have Ben Solo? I know you mentioned him. You don't have Ben yet, but it sounds like you're going to be getting him relatively soon based off what you're saying, or maybe you just don't have him unlocked, but you have the shards for him. With a raid team, it really does transform the raid team and make it a defensive powerhouse and a lot more viable on defense. So that would be a really, really good option. I would not invest in Bane until you have C. Right? I see in your messages you're thinking about investing in Bane. I know he's going to be good regardless. A lot of people are theorizing that he might be really good with Lord Vader too, not just C, but you don't have Lord Vader either. But seeing that Bane is kind of on your list of things to do, it kind of pushes me more towards that C route. Right, going for C in profundity. I do think it's a really good option for you. I am somebody that kind of really goes towards the idea of, hey man, let's kind of work towards older things before we work towards newer things, unless those newer things are really high ROI. I know that you mentioned the idea of a Lightspeed bundle for C. But the reality is we don't know. We have no idea if that's coming. We have no idea if that's going to come out in the next 6 months, 8 months, 12 months. I don't like to rely on information that may or may not be true, right? Because then we're playing a guessing game, and then we're getting to OMG's idea of gambling and being a bookie for people. And that's just not the way that I play. I'm more of a methodical person. So, I think that that's the solid route for you is Profundity C right now, more than anything else. I'm just reading some of my messages here.
And as we kind of, I guess, wind down with the reviews, from being a spectator for most of the morning and seeing how this goes, I think more so than last night, the question at the forefront for me is, what do you advise a new player? How does a new player even kind of begin to overcome this, what seems to be steep hill for getting competitive in this game? Like, is it just a slow burn? Is it just like, hey, you have to put like 9 months to grind, and then maybe we can talk about where you are, or is there something that a new player should be doing?
Yeah. While we're answering that, if you want to drop this screen down, because I want to pop up my email for a second and pull something related to this. But I think it's a really good question. CG has done a lot in order to make the game more accessible to new players, and I think that it's really helped the game. But I do think it is really hard to get into the game right now as a totally free-to-play player, unless you're just playing for fun, unless you're a more casual person that just wants to have fun with the game, and that's completely fine, and more power to you if that's what you want to do. But there are some really reasonably priced packs for someone that maybe plays for a month and says, hey, this is a game that I do want to play. The Hyperdrive bundle is $50. It brings you to level 85, and it gives you a lot of characters to only 5 stars, but it's enough to kind of get you going. And it gives you a lot of gear. It's a high value pack to kind of bring you from a 1 month account to like an 8 month account overnight for $50. And then I keep talking about these Lightspeed bundles that are not currently active, but they kind of pop around often. And they're usually like $10 for a very high assortment of relic characters. I would say anyone wanting to play the game that maybe is watching who is newer or hasn't played yet or is thinking about it, you can invest and jumpstart yourself very reasonably for about $100. And I know that sounds like a lot, but we're buying games for $70 that are like...
I was just about to say that was actually going to be my starting point. Like, well, what if I tell you I'm going to throw $100 at it? What do you tell a new player who says I'm willing to throw $100 if it gets me to the road to being competitive because I love this game? I liked it so much.
So there's 2 paths. 100% $50 of that should go to the Hyperspeed bundle or a Hyperdrive bundle. The other 50 really depends on whether there's active Lightspeed bundles or not. If there's active Lightspeed bundles, which the SLKR one, the Supreme Lighter Kylo Ren one has come around twice now. The Rey one has only come around once. They tend to be $10 to $20. They're super high value packs. And for $100, doing a $50 hyperdrive and 2 Lightspeed bundles, it's going to turn your account from, hey, I just started, to, hey, I can pretend I've been playing this game for 2 years, right? And it'll open up the game really quickly for you. That's the way to go. If there's no Lightspeed bundles, you have 2 options. You can either spend 50 on the hyperdrive bundle and wait, or you can spend, you know, $50 on crystals and use those towards refreshes to kind of go in the way that you want to. There are a lot of great streamers who talk more about the very early game. You know me, I don't like alt accounts. Right. I don't like starting over. I don't like doing these things. And they put out that kind of content, like AP Gains is a really big one. I know Solo Straight mentioned it. But my problem with AP Gains, and he's a nice guy, I've chatted with him, is that he's very speculative, and a lot of streamers are. I don't like to speculate at all. I don't like to make assumptions at all, and I don't like to make decisions based on assumptions. It's likely that a profundity bundle, we had like a Lightspeed bundle that was close to that. So I don't like to guess. You have streamers like Darth Loquidor who has put out who has put out like really early game guides. I'm learning that I can't read and talk at the same time. As I read, I go, and then I lose my train of thought. And I would advise somebody who's getting into the game like right away to maybe look into their stuff to kind of build the really early game teams. For me, as a roster reviewer, I really specialize in like hey, I have like 3 million. I've been playing for about a year. What do I do from here? How do I build for later on in the game? So I'm kind of like that early mid game to late game, which is really where I specialize and where, you know, people are going to kind of like value what I'm doing with this.
I think that's good advice. I mean, like I said, for someone that just kind of logged in and was just trying to get my sea legs, I think, you know, of the first couple of questions you ask yourself, how do I play this game? Something I enjoy playing, and then, well, how do I build, right? How do I make this more viable if I want to do this long term? So I think that was, you know, a very good answer.
Yeah, and you have my number. You know, you could just hit me up.
I do. Like, I'll just bother you. I don't have to wait in line.
So Khan, I don't know if you're living under a rock, but we know Jar Jar is coming. I guess I know what you're saying. Like you're talking about beforehand, before Jar Jar. I might be in a very different place in the game than you are, but I have an 11.3 million account. I have all the GLs. I have all of the GL ships. The only thing I'm missing is Bo-Katan. I don't feel limited by crystals in this game right now. I've been playing. I didn't start this horde specifically for Jar Jar, but I get about 1,000 crystals per day just from playing the game, and I use about half of them towards my account. So like Cantina stuff, my normal refreshes, my conquest refreshes. So I use about half, and it didn't start as a Jar Jar horde. It started as a jump on the new thing horde. And I've depleted it in the past. For Leviathan, I had to drop 27,000 crystals very quickly. And that allowed me to be able to do that. Jar Jar, it being more of a Jar Jar thing, has been very recent. That has been in the last 6 months. But basically, I always want my crystal horde growing without losing anything, right? So without limiting myself. So I don't specifically limit the things that I do, but I rationalize with myself, hey, do I need Bo-Katan right now? And the answer is no. She's great, but she's a luxury. She's great in GAC, but I'm not a major GAC player. I'm a turtle. I sit there and people message me and they go, man, you suck. Like you placed everything on defense. This is going to be a shit round for me. So every decision I make is an ROI decision of, will it benefit me to spend these crystals? And what it comes down to a lot of the times is no, it doesn't. So the Jar Jar Horde thing has become very recent, and I've actually slowed down my Bo-Katan farm to be able to bring more to the Jar Jar farm now that we know it's happening. But I haven't really changed how I'm playing up until very recently. And like I said a little earlier, I was chatting with Calvin Awesome last night, and we were kind of like talking about how we were going to limit our accounts and how we were going to slow down our accounts and how we were going to stop farms because we need to somehow come up with 70,000, more crystals in like a 3 to 4 month time frame. So it's less speculative and more ROI, than anything else. But with that said, I've taken up a very long amount of time. I've taken up about 2 hours of this stream here. This is what I do every morning. It's Brunch with Egnards. I've got my buddy OMG here, who's going to be doing some card pulls, and we've talked about it just a little bit. You've told me about it. I don't really necessarily understand it. I don't know why people watch you because you have the ugliest hands I've ever seen.
Yeah, they're not.
I have no idea why people want to see. You're like Jason Alexander, right? In Seinfeld, you're a hand model for a day.
There you go.
So in a second, I'm going to turn this over to you, and I'm going to drop your link again because I see Solo's asking for it.
I know. Like, I appreciate it. I think there's a lot of similarities. I think that's the interesting part of this is going into the conversations we had. I don't think that was the approach. This truly was meant to be, hey, can we just get together and just talk about our own universes because we've known each other forever? It's like, is there some kind of some anecdotes we could throw in or answer some questions. But what's funny about it is I think a lot of what you're covering, a lot of what you're talking about in the game is not too far off from what it is that we do at OMG Card Pulls. So for those of you who are, tuned in, looking at the roster reviews, and we're kind of, getting back into the hollow table talk, a lot of what I do is breaking cards, sports cards, non-sports cards, on live stream or in person at conventions, and we do it in a way to bring affordability and participation to people that don't want to really invest large amounts of capital initially in something they enjoy. So I think if you take that last sentence, there's some similarities. So what is a break, right? What is the concept of breaking? A lot of what we do is in sports, for example, we'll go out and purchase newer products. It's a lot easier with sports. You have a finite amount of teams, so you'll spend 300, 600, 900, maybe even a couple of thousand sometimes on product, and you'll open up spots to people. So typically, however many teams are in the sport, that's how many spots you open up, and you randomize it. So baseball, 30 spots, 30 random teams. The benefit is, as a consumer, I could spend $20, $30, $40, $50, $60 and maybe get, 2 to 4 spots, and I get dibs on those teams and those players in a break that's valued over $1,000 or $2,000. And that's really where this comes from. So, we'll go ahead, we'll get product, we'll sell out the teams pretty quickly, and we'll spend a couple of hours and we open up these cards and these packs and we pull these cards. And sometimes I do. And it's just a lot of fun. A lot of people do have teams that they enjoy. They have players that they look for. There's trading and exchanging that goes on. And then it gets a lot of fun when you start stepping out of sports, right? And you talked about a little bit of TCG. You could do things. I've done wrestling breaks, which I thought was kind of fun, where we sold letters, and everyone had a set of letters. And like if you had if someone pulled an Undertaker card, that's yours, right? Because you have the U. Same thing with Star Wars, right? You have the J, you get Jar Jar Binks, right? You get L, you get Luke Skywalker. You get B, you get Boba Fett. And the difference is you're spending a more affordable amount of money to get involved. There's also whales, by the way. I love that you use that term. We call them high rollers.
Right, casino talk, and we get it. You're a gambler, and
I have all these poker chips. So if you're a high roller, you get these poker chips and you collect them and you can trade them in for break credit. So our high rollers will spend, $300, $400, $500 a spot to just a chance at getting something, because for them there's a greater return on investment than spending $5,000, right? So they'll roll for 500 and they get a 1 in 6 chance at getting something very valuable. And I think that's where this all comes from, right? What's the point? It's value, right? It's just like what you guys are doing with the rosters and certain builds. There's value to building out certain squads and certain teams and certain GLs, right? There's value.
Do you know what GL stands for?
Is it legend? Is it? I'm assuming it's like the legendary characters in the game.
So you didn't.
No, I was guessing. I was inferring what it meant.
You're right. It's Galactic Legends. But shout out to my boy Bones over here. I do a lot of collaborations with Bones. I've been on his podcast. He's come in. He's come on to Tales with me before. We've done some like joint stuff. He's Bones a super nerd. Point.
Actually, there's the One Ring. So what Bones is alluding to was the Magic the Gathering set that collaborated with Lord of the Rings, and a lot of breakers actually got into TCG for the first time because there was this chase. Everybody wanted to find this One Ring card. It was a one of one. There was only one of them. They hid it in the packs, and what breakers were doing was they were buying tons of boxes. And you and me, I'm not going to a store to spend $1,000 at a 1 in 3 million chance at getting this card. Then maybe I'd throw $20 at it, like a lotto ticket. So a lot of people went in on it. Eventually it was pulled, and then Post Malone, the guy who pulled the card, Post Malone gave him like $2 million or $1 million for it.
I think it was $1 million, and the stipulation was that he flew out to meet him, if I remember correctly.
Right, he picked it up in person, right? So that's where the hobby can get to be a lot of fun. And I think what we'll do kind of after, I don't know if you want to do a little bit more Q&A, is I'll kind of put you in the world of breaks. So I'm going to switch my camera and I'll show you how we break cards. And we're actually going to break Star Wars today. So we have some Star Wars packs that we're going to open. We have some autograph cards. So for those of you that are viewing, we want to get you guys involved. A big part of what we do is giveaways. We love to get the audience involved. I love giving out cards and autographs and patches and free packs. So I don't want to just keep that exclusively for my streams. I want to bring your audience into this as well. So we're going to be giving away a lot of cards today. So it's pretty easy if you want to get involved as we go through this. All you have to do is just like, subscribe, leave a comment, and we'll use a randomizer for all the comments that are left on the video. Whether it's YouTube or Twitch, and we'll do some giveaways for some of the autographs that you guys see today. Bones is loving it. I'm loving it too. I thought this was going to be more of a personal back and forth, but I'm finding that it's very similar in many ways, and the content I thought was very interesting from the roster reviews and how the game's played. And really, you have to think about how you invest your money into something that you want to be a hobby. Right, gaming is a hobby, right? So it's not just a time killer.
Yeah, we got a good community that comes in for the brunches, which is really nice. But kind of like what OMG had said, after if you leave a comment, that's kind of how we can track them. He's in charge of all this stuff. He'll either reach out or I'll message anybody that does win stuff, and he's going to handle that because that's more his world. I'm too much of a Scrooge McDuck. So while you're kind of setting up your breaks, and I'm still going to be listening, I'm just going to go grab myself some more coffee, and I'm going to let you take the lead on all this stuff. And I'm excited. I thought you were going to do like some baseball stuff. And I don't know crap about baseball. So I'm happy we got some Star Wars cards in here. And
it's going to be a lot of fun. So Bones says, thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. You're into a lot of Pokemon. Yeah, it's funny. My daughter is very big into Pokemon, and she just recently got into Lorcana. And she's been doing her own streams on YouTube, and it's been a lot of fun watching her emulate. And it's just fun to see how many people just really enjoy some of the hobby and some of the collecting. And my daughter is already big into collecting. She's been getting graded cards, and she keeps them on her room and on display. She'll get big hits, and she'll go to like the local TCG store and trade them in for credit so she can get more packs. I mean, that's stuff that I did when I was younger. Yeah, absolutely. We'll drop a link as well. That way you can follow. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, PokeRev. Yeah, my daughter tries to emulate it. So she's actually OMG Card World is her brand. So she just did a couple of packs. Actually, I'm popping her logo on the top right. So Justin, that's Olivia's logo that she set up. So she's
while you're chatting, I'll pull that up and I'll drop the link.
OMG Card World. That's Olivia. So she does a lot of Arcana. And she's going to be doing some Pokemon as well. But for today, we're going to do Star Wars. And we have some retail blasters and we have some autographs. And I'm going to show you the Breakers' point of view, which is, again, this is very different for me. Typically, we actually don't. You don't see the Breakers. It's a very unique design. It's meant to be top down. So, Egnards was joking about my hand modeling skills because basically that's what I am. I'm a glorified hand model with a somewhat nice voice. So I'm going to switch my camera. We're going to make that view the prominent view, and we're going to jump into the breaks. And like I said, I love doing the giveaways. I think everyone who's invested time into the stream and invested time into going over the rosters and talking about the game, I want to be able to give back. So if you guys, again, like, subscribe, just leave a comment, and we'll draw winners, and then maybe we come up with something creative for those of you that are in the chat as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch my camera over. Any questions, by the way, while I get this set up? Egg, is there something that you want to?
No. I'm just gonna sit here and pretend I know what you're talking about.
That's pretty nice. So basically, what I just did for the last 2 hours.
Exactly.
I'm a nice guy, though. I'm only gonna do it for like maybe 20 minutes. I'm not cruel.
No, you knew what you were getting into this morning, man. I told you. I do this for like 2-3 hours every morning.
Believe it or not, I actually did enjoy it. So, all right, guys. So that's it. This is the transition. So usually when you break, this is what you see, right? You get your hands, you have your display. And as you can see here, we have a lot of different collectibles, right? And we have some autographs, some Funko Pops, some cards, and let's see, maybe we'll switch it to that way we can see it. So breaking can be a lot of fun because you can do just about anything with it. You can do big boxes of cards with packs. You can do one-offs, and you just randomize the letters or the names or the teams, and you can get some really fun stuff. So what you see here is actually going to be some of the giveaways. So these are Star Wars Signature Archive series, which are really fun. Each of these comes in an acrylic case. So typically these are about $100. So you spend about $100 in a box, and each box comes with a single card that is set up in a nice acrylic case. And I'm going to turn the light off so you don't see that. But this is Sal Guerrero, so very cool. This is Andrew Cascino. That's Sal Guerrero from the Star Wars Rebels series. If anyone likes Star Wars Rebels. So nice on-card auto. We have a character that if someone can somehow magically tell me who the hell he is, I would be very impressed because I've been trying to figure it out myself. Thromba? What's a Thromba, Egnards?
I don't know. Do I look like a nerd?
What is a Thromba?
It sounds like a disease.
So apparently this is a Annabelle Davis's Thromba. So he's a neutral terrorist.
Thromba looks like a minion that has a tumor.
And then we have Chancellor Valorum. So this is a cool one too. This is Ian Ruskin as Chancellor Valorum. He was from the Star Wars and the Clone War series. Very cool. So again, we got a couple of cool autos, and we'll cover what actually a break is. So the point of view, again, very different than what you might be used to. But what's pretty cool here is basically we have a box. So this is a signature series case, one in case autograph per card. Breaks, you can do it in different flavors. These are about $100 a box. So if you did 3 of these, it'd be $300. So you do $10 a spot. You can do a whole case of these for about $1,200. If you get a good deal on it, maybe $40, $50 a spot. and each of these has one of these autographs in it. And really what the breaker does is we open the boxes, everything's pre-sold, and then you take this out and you slow roll it. You see, all right, what do we got? And inside, you're going to see one encased autograph. So actually, this is cool. This is Captain Carson Teva, who's actually been getting a lot of airtime in the Mandalorian and in the I think he was in the Ahsoka series.
That's the guy that is replacing what's her name, Cara Dune, right? They were like, "Ooh, we have to switch
not as hot, not as attractive, but he was getting a lot of airtime. He was the pilot that was in the Mandalorian. They teased him in the Mandalorian.
But basically, what happened is when Gina Carino or whatever her name is posted all of that stuff during COVID and she got fired, is they kind of expanded his role and they were like, all right, we're gonna kind of branch off from his character instead.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, look what his con says from Wikipedia. Thrombo was a female who worked as a crypto surgeon in Maz Kanata. I mean, that is so obscure. I love how obscure that is. Wow, you can be a badass in Galaxy of Heroes for that kind of money. Well, I think that's a good point, though, right? You might not want to spend $600 or $800 on a bunch of those boxes. The idea is, how do I get into the break, and how do I get a shot at something for maybe 10 or 20 bucks? And I think the next part of this is we're actually going to break some cards. So this is a what's called a blaster box. So this is a Topps Chrome Star Wars blaster. These blasters, you get 10 packs per box. You get 4 cards per pack. You have a shot at autographs, sketch cards, memorabilia cards, and these blasters are anywhere between $40 to $50. So you could break a bunch of these, and again, you sell it for $10 a spot, and you walk away with some cards. So we'll open these and pretty much, give away most of what we pull here. I'll create some packs and we'll give them away. It's basically you dive in and you get a temporary STD. Yeah, there you go. Not bad. Yeah. So this is what breaking is. So we're just gonna open the box live. You get a little ASMR to it. Thank you very much, Bones. I appreciate it. And we have a lot of kid-friendly content as well. We're going to be doing a lot of Lorcana, Pokemon, and we really want to get involved with the Star Wars Unlimited game, which is going to be a lot of fun. So that's it. These are the packs that we have for today. Normally, these breaks are a lot bigger. Just for today, we wanted to just give everyone an idea of what it is a break is, because I think, Egg brought up a good point. This is a very foreign concept to a lot of people, but really the idea is, how do I just have some fun, be entertained for a low amount of value, right? So, Egg, this might be a buy me a beer type thing, right? So can I spend 10, 20 bucks and be entertained for a couple hours? Absolutely. This is a great way to do it. And if anyone's interested and they really enjoy this, I'm more than happy to put together a full-fledged Star Wars break. We'll put it up on the website, we'll sell it, and we'll break it live on YouTube. If you guys want to get involved and actually get a shot at getting some Star Wars autographs and sketch cards. So again, you put together a $300-$400 break. It's $10, $15 a spot, and you end up having a lot of fun. Are you not entertained, Bones? So let's get right into it. And by the way, Egg, help me out. If you see anyone that's familiar, let me know. So
if I see any Star Wars characters that are familiar, okay. Second sister, she's familiar.
Or anything that you want to say in the game. Maybe I pull a card. You're like, hey, you don't have this person in the game. You're making a mistake here.
Second sister sucks.
Second sister?
Don't get her past R5. She's shit.
Darth Maul.
Maul is also shit, unless you have the newer version.
Hey, nice. This is called a refractor insert. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but it's really shiny versus the regular card. So we have a Galen Erso on the back. So this one refracts the light. That's why it's called a refractor. This is a insert as well. Monikers, C-3PO. Very cool. So usually this is the other part of breaking, right? We really do care about the product, and we want to make sure that as you guys, invest your money and your time and effort, we're not taken away from the value. So what we'll do is we will top load and sleeve. So what a top load and a sleeve are is we put the card in a protective sleeve, and then we put it in a protective case so that it gets to you without any damage. Standard part of all breaking. So I'm going to put that stuff right in front so you don't see it off camera. But this is a sleeve. So this is a nice hit. We'll put this one in a sleeve, and we'll put it in a top loader. And now that is one of our hits. Nice C3PO. We're going to give this away. So nice hit so far. So we'll just keep going. Love Galen Erso. I absolutely love Galen Erso. And actually, I'm a big fan of that movie. So I thought it was a great film, and I thought he was great as Galen Erso, and I thought his brother was even better as Thrawn. All right, so this is very cool. So one of the things that we do, I just kind of pull back a little bit, and if you notice, there's a refractor on the back, but there's also a purple card. So when you break cards, there's a lot of inserts, and these inserts are numbered. They're called parallels. So it's pretty cool. We got a parallel on here. So we have the fifth brother.
Oh, he's pretty dope in the game. He's pretty good.
Saw Gerrera.
We have a new Datacron for Saw Gerrera. He's a badass now. He was not before.
Okay, we got another refractor. This is a Grogu refractor facing the Rancor. Very cool. And let's check out our hit. Mon Mothma. That's a pretty cool hit.
I just recently Relic 9'd my Mon Mothma because my guild hates me. I know you don't know what that means, but I'm sure.
That's actually a really nice card. That's a really nice parallel. Purple. This is so this is called a wave refractor. So if you notice the back, if I tilt it back and forth in the light, you get that kind of cool wave. So this is a purple wave refractor. I think these are limited to like 300, I want to say, 250, 300. So we'll get that sleeved up. Yes, Bones brought up a good point. Always sleeve and protect your cards because some of these hits are worth a lot of money. So you never know. Mon Mothma, nice hit. Baby Yoda. Who doesn't like a good Baby Yoda?
You just need a signed Egnards card.
Let's do it. We'll make a signed Egnards card. I'd love it. Captain Phasma, who I kind of felt like just kind of went away like a silent fart. Finn should have been a Jedi.
Yeah, well.
Rose and Finn back to back, very nice. And a nice Mace Windu, very cool. So no inserts in that pack.
Is that a falling out the window card?
No. I think that was when he was defending before he fell out the window. So yeah. Need a signed Egnards card. Let's make it happen. Here we go. How's this card? I'm assuming. Now, how many different flavors of him are there in the game?
Who is that guy?
I think it's you, to be honest.
Yeah, actually, somebody in one of my videos 2 days ago said, "Hey, he looks kind of like Luke Skywalker," and I was like, "Oh, I mean, I'll take it. That sounds great." How many versions of Luke do we have? We have Farm Boy Luke. We have Commander Luke Skywalker from Hoth. We have Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker from Return of the Jedi, and then we have Jedi Master Luke from the sequels that nobody talks about. So we got 4 versions of Luke in the game right now.
Tusken Chief. Migs. Love me some Bill Burr. And BB-8. So it's 2 packs. No inserts, no refractors. But you get some pretty cool cards. R2-D2. It's classic. Jarek Yeager.
All right.
Yeager. Hey, we got another Grogu. We got a Grogu refractor and a Kylo Ren. So I heard you talking about Kylo too. I'm assuming he's got a couple of cards in the game there.
We have 3 versions of Kylo Ren in the game. One of them is a Galactic Legend.
Okay, so that was. But in terms of the legends, like you made the comment last of the ones that you should farm for? Is that?
Yeah, it's just that the ROI for him, there's not too much going for him anymore. He used to be the number one to go for first, but not too much. Not too much now. Yeah, Bones, man, you woke up late this morning. You missed it. I tried to teach him for like 2 hours. We were doing roster reviews, so he got some of it.
I got some of it. Cannon Jarrus, Calcastus,
Piece of shit.
Aja Estring. I forgot he was in there for like a brief moment.
Yeah, Kumal Nanjiani.
Yeah. And Echo. Bad Batch. Nerd's fave. Yeah, Rebels was awesome.
I have to start Rebels. I haven't watched it yet.
Really? Oh, dude. I'm
of
also
course,
quite
Kumal Nanjiani's in everything now.
All right. Oh, wow. So this is a hot pack, guys. So this is hot packs are pretty fun. Hot pack is when you have multiple parallels, which is typically not what you get. Sports does it a lot too. You'll find it even outside of the sports world with things like Star Wars, or if you go in fun directions like Garbage Pail Kids, they have these things called hot packs where I'm going to fan these cards out a little bit, and you'll see there's multiple refractor 1, refractor 2, and on the very back we got another purple wave. So we got almost 3 hits in this one pack. So this is the kind of pack you want to get. You get serious return on your investment. So we'll start with Mon Mothma. Next card is a Manga Madness insert. These are pretty cool. I think there's like 1 per hobby box too. And that's a refractor. So all animated versions of the card. And then we're going to follow it with a refractor right after it of Rex, which I think I saw in the game. There's a...
Yes.
We were talking about that.
We have 1 version of Rex. Am I right about that? I think so. No, we have 2. We just got the new version of him. The Rebels version.
Very cool. We got a nice Grogu base card. And let's see our slow roll on the purple. Oh, wow. That's a sick one. Qui-Gon on the purple. Just cool. Awesome wave refractor. Again, these are limited to about 300, I believe. So super rare. Very nice. It's a great character to get. Again, we're going to give all this away, guys. So if you like what you see, all you got to do, like, subscribe, drop a comment on below, and we'll package these up. We'll send them out. We're also going to send out some of these autographs as well. A very, very cool hit. I like that one. Qui-Gon. We'll sleeve up the other ones as well. So we're down to a last couple of packs. So, Egg, you got any questions about this in terms of the process? Are you starting to kind of get it?
No. I kind of, I kind of see what's going on. You sit there with your sexy ass hands, and I guess my only question is if you know sign language, because it'd be kind of cool if you could if you could sign things while you're doing that. Well, you could do the full heart, but then you have like the what is this? The K-pop heart. Like that.
I signed at the end. That was me signing at the end. So a couple packs left, guys. So we'll get through this, and for everybody that's watching, hopefully you find some entertainment in here. Again, I think it's a lot of fun, and I always like to bring people together just to break, talk about the hobby, talk about what you're breaking. So in this case, we're just talking about Star Wars, and the fun part is we just spent a couple of hours talking about the game and talking about these rosters and these characters. So we're seeing a lot of these characters as we're pulling them. So it's kind of interesting to kind of see what it translates to in the game. So we got another base Qui-Gon.
Before you continue this pack, I apologize. Huncho, if you correct me if I'm wrong, are you a Black Hammer on Discord? We've been chatting a lot. I get the feeling that you are. I'm not 100% sure because they're totally different names. I just want to confirm. But yeah, keep going. And
okay. We got a nice Cobb Vanth. I'm a big fan. Zori Bliss. And we got another Grogu refractor. Pretty cool. The Mandalorian of Trask.
Oh, we have talked. We just send gifts back and forth to each other. Yeah, I'm looking at our conversation now. I'm looking at our Discord conversation, which is just gifts.
All right, we got a couple packs left. Lando Calrissian. Tanti. R.I.P. Grief Karga.
Yeah, I still have yet to see someone R9 Grief Karga, by the way, on Reddit. Everybody keeps posting like these tributes of like, oh my God, they put him in arena. I have yet to see a maxed out one. So if anyone's got
Is
one,
it
it'd be
worth
great.
maxing out?
It's absolutely not worth maxing out, but if you're going to do it as a tribute to him, you might as well go big.
All right, last pack Magic. We got Tam Rivora, Seri. For those of your fans of Jedi Survivor.
I'm not, but okay.
Kira and Stephen Wren. So that was one blaster box. And at the end of a break, we'll do a hit recap. So these were the hits from one blaster. So we have Grogu Refractor, the Manga Madness on the Boba Fett, Rex Refractor, Moniker's insert. We got a purple Wave Refractor of Qui-Gon, really nice one. Another Grogu Refractor, the Mon Mothma purple. I think these are probably our two best hits, and the C-3PO. So these are probably going to be the two best hits of the break, which is, again, not bad for a blaster. There could have been way worse.
Bones, I have no idea. I call her whatever. What would you say, just as an estimate? I know you're not looking at values right now, but like a decent pull for a pack in these Star Wars cards.
You know, I'd say Star Wars is very difficult because you really need to get a mainstream character to get value. Obviously, the original kind of core series, any autos or low print cards of those are heavily sought after, and tend to have good values. Newer cards, maybe not so much, unless it was like a big name actor. So, for example, like Qui-Gon, you get a double whammy there because it's Liam Neeson, so he notoriously doesn't really sign a lot. So if you pull one of his cards and it's signed, you're going to get more value. Same thing with like, Harrison Ford or Mark Hamill. You're just going to get more value on them. But like for this break, if we're going to do value estimate, I think, the blaster, like I said, $30. I think you probably got just about that in value. I think the purple waves are probably maybe $10, and the refractors maybe $1 to $2 if people trying to build sets. But that's where I think some of the long game comes into play. Where with these sets, it's always, in my opinion, better to build out completes. So if you're a completionist and you go for the entire purple wave set, you can sell that at a much higher return.
Premium.
Yeah, because you have the whole set, right? Because a lot of people will tend to try and do it piece by piece. So that's just one flavor. What we'll do here is, this is the last blaster. We're not going to open the whole blaster, but we are going to do just a quick comparison. So these are called Chrome cards. These are base cards. So these are like matte to flat, less shine. So you're not going to get that rough kind of glare on the camera. You're also going to get a lot more cards in here as well. So the other one was 4 cards per pack. This blaster is also themed. So this is based off of the Obi-Wan Kenobi first season TV show. So not a bad one, because you're going to get probably some more characters that you're going to want. And I know that a lot of people are chasing the Vader inserts in here. And there's a patch card in here that will open up, and we'll do a giveaway as well on the patch card, which I think it's this one. But we'll open this pack so you can kind of see the difference. And then we want you guys to have some fun. So we're going to send some of these packs home, and I want you guys to open them. I want you guys to experience what it is to rip a pack of Star Wars cards. If you do win one of the packs and you open it up, let Egnards know in one of his later video if you got anything good or if you had fun doing it.
Yeah,
all right,
I know, Huncho, before you begin on that, Huncho was asking with Twitch. I know like Twitch doesn't really let you like leave comments or anything like that, and it's a lot harder to track those things.
Yeah,
it's
if you can, head over to YouTube and drop a comment if you're able to. If you can, head over to YouTube, sub and drop a comment. That way it'll make it easier. If you don't want to, if you have social media, Instagram, Twitter, my OMG card pulls is the same handle across the board. If you want to drop me a DM and just let me know that, hey, you watched the stream and you like to be entered, that's another way to do it, and I'll manually tally your entry. So we have the Inquisitors on the top. So again, you can see these cards are a little different. They're kind of matte. They're not chromium, not as shiny. And I think we have a hit. Showdown with the Dark Lord. So I think there's a hit because there's this, if you can see on the side, one of these cards is really thick. It's like a crazy thick card. That usually means it's a patch or memorabilia, which is kind of cool. So I think we got one in our first pack. Let's see. Showdown with the Dark Lord. Heroes. Colin Roken. I think I'm pronouncing that right. The Fifth Brother. Is there a Fifth Brother card? Yes, no?
Is there? Yes, there is. I'm sorry. I was just answering Huncho here. There is Fifth Brothers in the game, one of the Inquisitors and he's a chase character to farm Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah, I was, you know what? It's funny you say that. I was going to say Ice Cube. He does look like Ice Cube. It's his son. Is
it really?
Yeah, Bones just posted that. I was like, man, that looks like Ice Cube. Yeah.
Oh, I don't usually listen to Bones. He doesn't say anything that's useful.
Ewan McGregor. I mean, everybody knows Vader. That's a very cool. I like that card a lot. Awesome card. All right, guys, and we're getting to our hit. So here we go. Let's see if we got something cool here. Wow, that is pretty sick. So this is a Obi-Wan Kenobi commemorative patch that we just pulled, guys. That is really awesome.
And I get that, right?
Look at that.
That's for me.
It's actually a full Obi-Wan Kenobi commemorative patch. It's almost like a canvas patch. That is awesome. You can see how thick the card is. So yeah, we got a hit, guys. First box, we got a real nice hit. First pack, I'm sorry. Obi-Wan Kenobi commemorative patch. Very awesome. So we'll get that. We'll get this sleeved up. Very, very cool. Bones, absolutely. This was a lot of fun. So just gonna get a thick one because this card is so thick. So they have different size top loaders. This one's a little thicker. Make sure we protect all cards.
Thick is in two C's, right? Is that correct?
So for what? Yeah, yep.
Two C's, yeah.
For there you go.
Hi, you got it.
So that's it for what it is to break. So we're gonna have all of these packs, guys, right here. We're gonna give every single one of these away, which is pretty cool. That's all gonna be part of the giveaway. Like, subscribe, comment if you can, either on my stream or on Egg stream. If you are on the Twitch feed, you can drop us a comment. Look, this is meant to give everyone a shot at something really cool. So even if you go on social, drop us a DM, post something on another social media platform, we will make sure that we put you in the giveaway, and we'll give everyone about a week. Let's say that maybe Friday, end of next week. We'll tally it all up. We're going to be giving away the packs. We'll give away all the inserts, all of the base cards, and then we're also going to give away the autographs that you see in the back. So that's the Saw Gerrera, the Chancellor, Valorum, and the Thromba.
Yeah, what the people here don't know, I appreciate it, Huncho, because I put a lot of effort. I'm not on Twitch as much as I am on YouTube. I do a lot of non-live content just because I don't have the time to be live constantly. So I just do my brunch stuff on Sundays. And actually, next week, for anybody that's on right now, I have a week off from school. It's TB week, so I'm probably going to be streaming my entire TB all throughout the week, which will be on YouTube and Twitch. I'm going to be trying to auto everything and seeing what I can do with that. But what you guys don't know about OMG, and I was talking to my wife about this yesterday, is he loves giving shit away. Like, it's his favorite thing in the world. We will go to game nights and he'll just be like, hey, I bought $300 worth of crap to just give away. And nobody expects it. We just kind of go, we were here for the games and the beer, but okay, great. So that's basically what OMG does. Is in his real life, in his streaming life, in his sex life, he just gives shit away.
I'm a giver.
You just love buying shit and giving it away. So he's gonna handle that stuff. That's all on him. But I know he likes doing that. So reach out and
let's go, Rangers.
He'll take care of you. He loves sending things. What I don't think he realizes that some of my audience is international. So you have fun.
That's all right.
You have fun with that.
We'll do what we can. Look, the idea is it's no different than I think what you're doing on the gaming side. I would counter what you said earlier, even though a lot of your content caters towards maybe more seasoned veterans, gamers trying to hit like the new kind of tier or upper echelon. It's also very, I guess, endearing to new players. Like for me, there's something about, I don't know, seeing something that has a good community or has some long-term potential. I might invest in that. Like I might not invest in a game that is maybe just a quick hitter or just, you know, something that I got to dump $1,000 into by myself and I play it all alone and, you know, pour a couple hundred hours into and nobody knows about it. You know, this is a different element. So it's the same thing with the cards, right? Is look, I do it because I find it fun and I enjoy it. So I want people to find it fun and enjoy it too. I want people to collect some cards, open some packs, and go, "Oh, like I get it. This is kind of entertaining. I enjoy this."
We both want people to spend money just on different things. I got you.
100%.
I got you. So once again, you know, tomorrow I think Territory Battles, my time, I'm EST, starts at 1 p.m. I will probably be right away, right at 1 p.m. starting a stream because I'll be at home. My wife will love the fact that I'm not in her hair while she's working at her computer. I'll throw it up on Twitch. I'll throw it up on YouTube. We're going to see how much of it we can auto. So I'll be around all week doing that. Tuesday, we have that big update that is coming out. So I'm super excited about that. And we have a downtime, which is kind of weird, you know, that there's going to be some kind of like downtime, which just doesn't happen often. I might not be able to stream that day, my TBs, just because of having to teach classes later in the day and depending on how long that takes. But I'll be around all week. We'll be doing a lot of stuff. If you're on Twitch, again, we've got a lot of non-live content on YouTube. I do a lot of talking with content creators, so look that up. Like I said, OMG, when I say goodbye to people, I try to make it as awkward as possible.
So it's as awkward as you are in real life.
So this is like that time.
You're the master of the Irish exit.
The Irish goodbye, right? I just hit end stream.
Yeah, there's no better way to describe Egnards than where did he go? Was he just here?
Yeah, I just gonna. I mean, I can't hit end stream. You have to do it. So
no, I'm not going to.
I'm kind of waiting for you. So I'll see you later.
Well, everyone's saying good afternoon. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thank you guys for giving me an opportunity to give you guys a little preview into what it is we do. I appreciate it. So I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys enjoy the cards when you get them, if you win them. And hopefully you guys can review bomb my squad in a few months. I'll be very excited for that.
You'll have to pay me to do that. Man, I've had 4 cups of coffee and a mimosa. I need to pee, dude. Just letting that out there to everybody who's on this stream, that if you could just turn it off now, that'd be great.
Like now?
Like now. That'd be awesome. If you could just if you could cut the feed, like something.
Are you saying I should cut the feed, or you mean like just cut it now?
You should cut it now.